so within the confines of like a clear-cut policy agenda that he was advancing, where he'd be like, I'm going to do this, as opposed to what Cuomo did. So it was like a double bind in that regard. It was very good.
Yeah. He moved on from like attacking Cuomo in the second half. He was like, I think I made my points. And part of me always wants it like to come back. Like, especially when they were talking about sex workers, I like wanted them to bring it back to Cuomo. But I guess at a certain point, it's like, you're either bothered by Cuomo's past or not. And you got to present a vision. Yeah. And Zoran presented the most of a vision.
But like I said, out of all of the people on stage, that did not say anything mean about my 9/11 comments, I have to be a Curtis Sliwa supporter.
Yeah.
I apologize, Zoran. I'll hit you up later. You know, my mistake. I thought you were a real one for I was the Turkish Connect, because every New York mayor has to have a Turkish guy.
Yeah, that's true.
And sorry, it's not going to happen for me any longer. Someone made 5K on Cuomo mentioning you. I think that was fake. I don't think that was an actual. I don't think that was an actual bet.
Okay, so you're Zoran.
I do have a poly market bet though for being arrested before October 31st.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, and people have actually put money into it.
That's
I don't know
bad system. That's not good.
I don't know what they know that I don't know, that like this is even a point of contention somehow. But
have you come to terms with the fact that anyone who likes you at some point, if they get confronted on a question on a political level, they have to say that was a shit thing for him to say? Have you come to terms with that? That no politician in America can go, he was talking in a grand poetic.
No, I think like it's been.
He didn't say that people in the tower specifically deserved it.
Yeah. No, I don't have any expectation that any politician is going to defend that statement on its face, and I don't expect them to. But I think it's like this is not even like a Jeremiah Wright style situation for Obama or like a Sister Soldier situation, because like instead of getting first of all, it's me. I'm so irrelevant in the grand scheme of things that like it makes
irrelevant. But what you're doing, you're not running a church. You're not a politician. And per your point, it was like old 2020 bringing up tweets. It was very like an old school thing.
Yeah, it's like a statement from 2019 about like blowback that I misworded, but I don't expect any politician to like endorse that statement.
And it's the second beat. People would have to truly, the people who would care, who would be bothered and not misunderstand and in bad faith take your comment, don't know who you are. They're older. They'd have to look you up. They're not going to.
Yeah.
So it's just nothing. It's nothing. Yeah. I think it's a plus.
No, it's a nothing. It's a nothing burger. It's a nothing statement, and I think it's like the reason. I think Cuomo's team is doing that because they're extremely online. Like there are people in his corner that are like obviously extremely online, because like Paul Bless said it best, where he said, why is Cuomo doing this? Who is telling him to talk about Hassan Piker 3 weeks before an election in which he's down 20 points? To me, the main factor in why Mamdani is beating his ass is that he convincingly talks about loving the city and wanting to improve it, and is transparent to anyone who isn't ideologically blinded that Cuomo sees it as a stepping stone to something else he hasn't figured out yet. And it's so obvious, because like the only thing that does is just like elevate my profile in the eyes of people who had not heard about me from a deeply negative politician, like a politician with like really, really bad, like it's.
They said, why did you lose? And he said, it's the social media. I mean, that means there's nothing else that he took from it. There's nothing else that he learned from it other than I have to pour more money into Gen Z running the Twitter. Like that's insane. It's embarrassing that you've had no more development thought to that answer. None of his answers were good. None of them were inspiring. None of them any vision. And he had so much to answer for. Yeah. And I do think that if you've been in politics a long time, it should be hard to keep running. It should be hard, because I don't think it's good to have these politics for 40, 50 fucking years. You should have a record that you answer to, and he couldn't answer to it. And I think that the worse your record is, the harder it should be to get reelected. That's the sign of a healthy system where new things enter.
Yeah. And this is a time unlike any other where people are very clearly demanding that. Like they want that change. They want a fighter. They want someone who comes across as more earnest, comes across closer to the average voter. And Andrew Cuomo is everything. He is everything that people despise about American politics, like the institutional rot.
And he's compromised. I mean, he's compromised in that and Trump will hold that over his head. And like I would have hit that more.
Yeah. That's true. And I would have even hit like the fact that he said that he would be Benjamin Netanyahu's lawyer, like on the Israel stuff, because like he put like talk about horrible political instincts, like being immoral and having the worst political instincts. Where like where like at a time when the overwhelming majority of the Democratic Party's base had actually was actually demanding to decouple from Israel, and Andrew Cuomo was like, this is my opportunity to be Benjamin Netanyahu's fucking lawyer. So I think he did bring that up, the Netanyahu's lawyer line. But like,
but you only bring up so much because it's just like you got to move on from this.
The parts
that parade question was insane,
I know,
dude.
The parts that I really appreciated, for the record, the parts that I really appreciated in the beginning was when he was talking about like the context of the occupation. I thought that was like unheard of from any American politician.
Yeah.
The fact that he said like we're not looking at the context of like how October 7 happened, like something along those lines. That is not only a truthful reflection of events, but it's also unheard of. I've never heard someone say that in any setting whatsoever, like calling it an apartheid. Like because it's true. It's crazy that it's like so difficult to.
I want to say, like, to my fellow Jewish New Yorkers, just this thing of like demanding the prioritization of the mayoral candidates' views on Israel and demanding that be frontline and center. It's almost become like a joke. The fact that it's so much. And if you're saying like, hey, we'll talk about schools, we'll talk about subways, we'll talk about childcare after we talk about this issue that's important to me, it's not going to engender a love of the Jewish people.
Yeah. You know what's really interesting about this? Because I looked at the polling numbers like recently, right? I looked at the polling numbers recently, and it said Jewish New Yorkers still was like 60% sympathize with Israel strongly or somewhat, as opposed to Palestinians, and then it's like 30% strongly sympathize with the Palestinians, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
And yet Zoran won in the Democratic primary the majority Jewish vote. And what's interesting to me about that is like that. For me, that is the proof that's the proof of concept. That for two reasons. One, regardless of how American Jews feel about Israel, it's not their highest priority. That's number one. And number two is that American Jews, New York Jews, they clearly looked at everything that Zoran was representing, and they were like, I want fast and free buses.
Yeah.
I don't really like what he's saying about Israel. I love Israel, but like, I want fast and free buses more than...
The more time you spend on the subway, the less you think about Israel. Yeah. I promise you that.
So I think that's really important, because it's a testament to the argument that I present all the time whenever fucking Democrats come to me and ask me like what to do about this sort of stuff, or the media, whenever they're like, trying to conduct an autopsy on what went wrong. I'm like, be issue first.
Yeah.
Be very specific, be issue first, and be definable by the policies that you are advocating for.
Yeah.
And Zoran did that.
He did that while holding a strong line. Like, instead, I think a lot of politicians, even who are critical of Israel, they try to like they get wrapped up in the conversation. They try to do some kind of balancing. Zoran came up with a very clear line of how he states this.
Yeah,
he doesn't believe in the right where there's inequality. And then he goes back every single time, almost obnoxiously so. But it reminds people at home, going like, yeah, that's what I care about.
Yeah.
Why would you fucking care about what the potential mayor for New York tells Hamas to do?
Yeah,
that's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's incredibly dumb to like constantly bludgeon over the head of a dude running for New York mayor to be like, oh, what do you think Hamas should disarm? Do you think this? Do you think that? It's like, dude, these are utterly irrelevant in the grand scheme of things.
You could be a mayor who condemns Hamas, and it doesn't mean Jews in New York are going to be any safer because you've created a fucked up a system with. I mean, it's just they're separate things, and he's held his ground.
I like,
and they trained him. I mean, honestly, he got Colbert trained him a little, and then he got to this, and he had his answers ready.
Yeah,
I mean, it was and Cuomo presented nothing else.
And I do think that, like I said before, he is very good at liberalizing otherwise like left flank talking points and left flank positions. Zoran is.
He doesn't even play into I'm a
do you think Israel has a right to exist? as a Jewish state, where he goes, Israel has a right to exist as a state for equal parties with equal representation for all people that live there.
Because you can't disagree with that. You can't go, no.
Liberals can't turn around and be like, how dare you say that? No, it has to be a Jewish ethno state. Then you come across like a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
So I think he does a very good job of like repackaging that shit. And I do think that it's Cuomo over for sure after this. Like this.
You feeling really confident?
I am more worried about fucking Curtis Lewa. Like,
I get so scared to get confident about fucking anything, but I do feel good.
Yeah, no, it was a great showing for Zoran. I think he did a very good job of like showcasing his positions. I think he did a very good job of showcasing his positions. He did a very good job of what he's about, what he's advocating for. All the other stuff, I think, all the other attacks that he was going to endure. His associations with a dangerous criminal, Hassan Hamasabi Piker, or his statements about Israel and whatnot. I think he handled very well overall. But like you asked initially, no, my expectation is much worse, because like I thought he could. There was a chance he could just like fuck me. Like I thought he was gonna be like, oh, yeah, I condemn Hassan Piker.
Yeah, I learned about it. I cut off all connection to this person.
Yeah, like just fucking.
I unsubbed from the stream.
Straight up
I
lied on camera.
This is a preview of more and more millennial candidates. It's gonna be a debate about tweets. It's gonna be a debate about tweets from a certain era.
It's also stupid because like when Andrew Cuomo brings that up, like I think even if other candidates bring that up in a similar vein, because like I work with a lot of candidates, and I promote a lot of candidates. Like I have a community full of people ready to go for door knocking and stuff like that, and they were all over the Zoran campaign as well.
Yeah,
and that negative association stuff is never going to work for someone like myself, because I'm a polarizing figure for sure. But like people know what my political positions are, no matter how hard like someone tries to bastardize them. And you either, if you know who I am, you either fucking despise me, which, you know, there's a smaller group of people who despise me than love me, but they're very loud. Or you're gonna be like, yeah, he's a progressive guy. I like what he's about. I like that he's a fighter. And that's all this is. So the broad majority of the public has no fucking clue who I am.
Yeah.
You know? So it's very dumb to try and hammer on that point, because like I'm not like if Zoran had retaliated and been like, you just went on the Impulsive podcast, like if we're talking about podcasts, like you went on the podcast that
did he really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And you know, shout out to, look, I love Mike. Mike is my good friend. I'm not I don't really know Logan at all, but like
if someone brought up like the Suicide Forest.
But like, yeah, he's a much more notable figure is what I'm saying. Like Logan Paul is known by way more people than someone like myself, right?
Yeah.
So for him to try to bring that shit up is so stupid. You know?
But it just fails. I mean, it's what Democrats did with Trump, and it failed so spectacularly. It's just trying to focus on the associations and not presenting a vision. It's too easy. It feels good in the moment, and you think you got the momentum because the people who really hate it, the people who really hate you or really hate Zoran, they're going to be really loud, and you're going to get this reinforcement of like, this is working. But it's just a small select of people who are riding on their hatred of someone.
Yeah, look,
you have to present a vision.
Like he just went on the fucking Impulsive podcast. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's the thing. Zoran didn't go after because he had so much. He didn't have to go after because there's assault allegations.
Yeah.
So and he has such little on Zoran. He has to go over someone he worked with a couple times and is friendly and likes. It's
last tweet in this thread. What is this? Fox News graphic before Zoran interview. I don't think we should have billionaires. The last tweet in this thread. Oh yeah, here. Meanwhile, yeah. While Zoran was on Fox News, Andrew Cuomo was doing the Logan Paul, Mike Malek, Impulsive podcast, and if he wanted to, he could just easily turn around and be like, yeah, you went on the podcast of a dude who went to the Japanese suicide forest and also literally promoted Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And played a role in Donald Trump becoming president. Again, like I said, I love Mike. Mike is the homie. He's the man.
I don't know Mike, so I don't give a fuck.
He's a great dude. I love him. Personally, I think he's a good dude.
And you guys, I mean, this generation, there's so much media on them that everyone has a one thing. Everyone has a one thing you cling. It's just not. It's going to prove less and less effective as time goes on.
Grok loves you, lol. What is this? Grok does love me. No, Zohran Mamdani didn't say fuck Hassan. He gay as fuck in the October 16th New York City mayoral debate. He condemned Hassan Piker's 9/11 comments as objectionable and reprehensible. The phrase appears to be satirical exaggeration.
Yeah.
My favorite part was when Zohran said fuck Hassan. He gay as fuck, says Tim Pool.
Yep.
This is what you do when you have nothing to hold on to.
Absolutely.
In this debate, you have no dog in this fight. You have no stake, so you're just like an extremely online guy. And this is what you. What is this? Also, look who endorsed him. No.
I saw that today.
No.
Amy Schumer rhymes with Cuomo.
Oh, it's over. It's over for Cuomo. It's so Cuomo over, dude.
That's someone with their finger on the pulse.
Yeah.
That was sad. Not surprising. And I'm sure it's
it's so done. It's so fucking done.
Do you feel like when Zohran wins? I mean, you've had people where you support them and then they do something that you find objectionable. Do you struggle with being honest about it?
I mean, there are currently prominent national politicians that I do talk to with regular frequency that I sometimes am very critical of.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. Obviously, like the worst example is I never had a direct contact with Fetterman, but like, what
has he done?
Good one.
But you supported him when he was like,
I did. I even
that's an easier one.
I even overlooked like the Israel stuff that he was signaling even before, but I thought that was like a defensive posture so he doesn't get like ass blasted by the DMFI, Democratic Majority for Israel. But like as far as like AOC here, everyone is already saying it in the chat. Like AOC is a great example. Like sometimes AOC does stuff that I don't fully agree with.
Yeah.
There are very few politicians that I find myself completely in alignment. But I see politicians as servants of the public. Like they are supposed to be almost like an empty vessel that we demand they make changes through.
Yeah.
So in that regard, if I call balls and strikes, there are even Democratic politicians that I otherwise do not align with ideologically at all. Mm-hmm. But when they do good things, I give them proper credit. Like Chris Van Hollen is a great example of this. I think he's done a lot in terms of like progressive politics, like really pushing the needle on immigrant rights and like extracting Kilmar Barrera Garcia from El Salvador. That was a huge move.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's just the way I see it. So if Zohran fucks up, like, yeah, of course I'll criticize him. I mean, I'll be like, you son of a bitch. I knew you were.
You come back and be like, these comments are were reprehensible and
I'm gonna DM him being like, you talk shit about 9/11, bro. You kidding me? No, it's just like, it makes sense that there's gonna be stuff that they do because they have to work within the confines of like being the mayor of New York, or work within the confines and like all the external pressure that exists on that role, all the other forces of capital that are going to be coming after him, and the same goes for AOC and Bernie Sanders as well. I've been very critical of Bernie Sanders. I love Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is, I think, a very important political figure in contemporary American politics. But I think his liberal Zionism was completely unacceptable, and even to this day, like his the way he communicates about like saying but Hamas, even when talking about like the genocide, it's like that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous, not because like I expect him to praise the Al-Qassam Brigade or something and be like, today is the day that Yahya Sinwar was martyred 1 year ago, and he changed humanity. Like, that's not my expectation. I'm just like, be truthful, be honest.
Yeah.
Like, be honest about like the conditions that led to October 7. Mm-hmm. And it's disappointing, but having said that, I see the full extent of what they represent and what they what they advocate for and where they move where they move the conversation to in American politics.
I think people feel the same way about you and the 9/11 comment.
I don't think it's that big of.
No, I don't think it is. But I'm saying,
I mean,
no.
First of all, you're a comedian.
Please, I'm a comedian. My God, my God.
You made a Holocaust joke.
I mean, listen.
That Candace almost laughed at.
That's what I'm hoping for the next debate, where a comedian, Jamarcus Ramsey, opened the rally. And opened the rally with, "Oh my God, there's like 6 million people here." Sorry, I might be exaggerating. I'm Jewish. Like
the Zoran, not believe that 6 million Jews were killed during the Holocaust.
But people understand it, and I think the older people get, and the people who engage with people in the way that they know they put out hours and hours and hours will go, "I don't give a fuck." That they knew the person who said that one thing on the one stream 10 years ago. I don't get, because we lived through the heat of the tweet. The tweet meltdown, screenshot your life's over, and we were like, that was silly.
Yeah.
And so it's not going to work.
For the newbies, offer clarification on the 9/11 comment. I mean, I've done it so many times, but it's blowback. That's it. There's already academic consensus on the matter. It's America's it's America's foreign policy in the region that directly was responsible for 9/11. And there's not even any sort of I don't think there's any sort of debate on this matter at this point. And we've consistently kept doing it as well. So,
yeah.
But that's it. That's all it was. In terms of what America was deserving. But like I said, I think this is a generational thing. Regardless, if you are. Yeah, the accusation, the false accusation in that regard is when people say oh, you think Americans deserve to die in 9/11, which is not what I implied at all.
Of course, but that's always going to be the game. It's to be are you saying that these people deserve to suffer?
Yeah. It's just a super cynical approach, but it makes sense. And it was, to
me, it's like if someone said you reap what you sow, and someone said, so you're justifying every consequence that everyone's ever faced in the world. Yeah. It's like no, it's about how the world does function.
Yeah, ultimately it's incredibly stupid. It's not all that consequential.
I think Zoran should have stuck by his side harder. He should have said, "Come on, play the clip. Can we play the clip? Let's get the full context."
Yeah. Your 2-minute interview with THR just dropped. Okay, well, we got to go because our podcast is about to start. We're doing Fear and with Gianmarco.
Fuck yeah.
It's fucking happening. He's a podcaster. He's
Hello.
Mr. Podcast. So get excited for that. And I will see you tomorrow. That's crazy. She's a thief.
You steal my shit.
She's a thief. It's fine.
I tried once. I almost threw up. I tried one.
Yeah,
oh my God.
It's bad.
Yeah. Hi.
But yeah, we are. I will see you guys tomorrow as always. Love you all, everybody.
First Twitch stream. Fuck
that
yeah.
was. How'd you like it?
Nothing for 30 seconds while he
nothing.
He gives her nothing for 30 seconds while he just attempts to fake a human emotion and then just ends up going,
You were in Israel.
Yes.
Since the war started. How was that trip?
The most powerful experience of my life.
Really?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Why?
You just.
I'm not even sure he went to Israel, honestly. I'm not even sure he knows what Israel is after that.
I feel like that was the result of a brainstorming session. It was immediately after they dropped a bunch of hyper accurate bombs on a refugee encampment, and they were like, everyone's more mad at us than usual. What do we do? All right, we need the least genuine human being who has ever lived and the most annoying newswoman of all time to cry together. We need both of them to have an emotional moment, or what two Komodo dragons would think an emotional moment would be.
Yeah, just their eyes blinking once every hour, and then occasionally a tongue flicking out to dart away a fly.
Yeah. I don't know who this is for. Who's on the fence about this stuff? Who, someone who's they were passively Zionist as a default, as anyone who followed American politics in the last 30 years may have been. And then they see everything that we've all seen for the past, 8 months. And then they're like, I'm rethinking this. And then they see Seinfeld cry. And they're like, I don't know. I think I'm back on the winning team.
Well, the funny thing is, he didn't actually cry.
That's the one thing you couldn't see.
Yeah. All the headlines are like Jerry Seinfeld cries in Interview with Barry Weiss, and I was like, this I gotta see. But what I actually saw was something so much more powerful, which was like a replicant trying to pass a Voight Comp test by squeezing a tear out to evince human emotion. Yeah.
It looked like an episode of Curb where Larry David accidentally got on an interview for Israel, and they were like, was it personal for you? That's how he would act in exactly the same way.
And as long as we're on it, I mean, I know everyone's mad at Jerry Seinfeld for a lot of good reasons, but we don't need to retcon this whole idea that Larry David was some kind of sleeper agent who created Seinfeld to embarrass Jerry Seinfeld and attack his politics.
Larry David invented Gritty.
But Jerry's failure to produce a human emotion was just merely one element of this hilarious interview. I mean, it produced the headline, Jerry Seinfeld calls for a return of dominant masculinity. Quote, I like real men.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by this one because when I saw that headline, I thought, oh, this is he's seen a Jordan Peterson video. This is going to be boring boilerplate conservative bullshit that kicker guy. But what he actually came out with was funnier than anything I could have ever imagined.
It's unreal. Because I mean, in addition to using his co-star from the Unfrosted movie, Hugh Grant, as his example of unparalleled masculinity, because he quote has stories at dinner parties and knows how to get a drink. That was awesome. But he also, I mean, he said when I grew up, there were men's men, and he used the examples of Muhammad Ali, JFK, Sean Connery, and Howard Cosell. Which I thought was which of these things just doesn't belong?
It's how you get into showbiz. You have to have one of those. It's a rule of fives.
So my apologies to Jerry Seinfeld. This was, I mean, you've come back with a vengeance, producing some of the funniest comedy that I've seen in a long time, and I hope you keep it. I hope he keeps it up. There's another sort of. There's people who said they got the election wrong. I mean, that's kind of boring. But more interesting, if to me, are the ones where people were asked what they got wrong, and then just basically used it as an opportunity to talk about how right they are about everything. For instance, Barry Weiss, who writes, "Objects in the mirror may be closer than they appear. That's the warning I'm taking into 2025. I underestimated, among other things, how quickly old media institutions would crumble. For those of us trying to build new ones, the question is, can we go fast enough to meet reader demand? Use discount code What I Got Wrong for 10% off your subscription to the free press." So basically, Barry's saying, I was too right about everything.
Also, object in the mirror may be closer than it appear. That's you're wrong, sir.
I love this one from Caitlin Collins, who's an anchor at CNN. 2024 served as the ultimate reminder to never assume what the news is going to be. We were surprised at almost every turn.
Who assumes that?
It's that's why it's new. It says tomorrow something new will happen. What do we call it? I don't know.
Yeah. What? This is so fucking stupid.
It says here, we were surprised at almost every turn of this election. As a reporter, you should always operate with an open mind. It's easy but risky to think you know where a story is going. This year reminded us that we don't. They shouldn't have published that. You got to say one thing you got wrong. This is just dribble.
What the fuck? All of the things in here that aren't just I thought that Biden could live another 100 years are fucking pablum. What did I learn this year? I learned that summer and winter can often be in the same year, and just because it's hot one day, don't throw away your parka. You're gonna need it probably this year.
And then just to transition into to close out a reading series for today, we are all holding out for a hero. We're all We all want there to be some streetwise Hercules to hold us through the night. We were talking about at the beginning of the show about our, fantasies of doing CQC and room clearing, but in the service of good. And I wanted to do this reading series is by Chris Arnaud, writing in the Barry Weiss Free Press, and the headline is "All Men Want to Be Heroes." Now, Chris Arnaud is a guy. Obviously, I'm going to make fun of this piece, but I always kind of fucked with Chris Arnaud because he liked McDonald's and he was like out there repping the Golden Arches, mostly just by being like, this is where real America's at. But like, he's this guy who sort of goes around like photographing people, or just he's one of these sort of I travel everywhere and just sort of like imbibe what real people are like. He's like that's kind of his shtick.
Mm-hmm.
But this article is titled, and the article begins with one of these sort of man on the road type stories. So this is "All Men Want to Be Heroes" in the Free Press. And he says, I traveled around the U.S. for 10 years, and one of my most enduring memories is of being in a dive bar somewhere in Ohio when a room full of guys were trying to break down a door. It started because a woman got upset that her man had gone into the bathroom, locked the door, and that was a half an hour ago, and he's not answering, and sometimes he passes out on the toilet when he's had too much. She needed help.
Too much heroin? He's doing fentanyl, lady. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you.
But it says she needed help, and for the next 20 minutes, every man in the bar gave it their best shot. Some running and throwing their shoulder against the door, some using pool cues as a crowbar, some trying to pick the lock. Each actor, when it was his time in the spotlight, entered with a swaggering bravado that soon collapsed in cartoonish ways. A humiliating slip and fall, a crushed finger, a yelp of pain. Finally, one of the guys managed to take the door off the frame using tools from his truck, revealing a rail-thin, spiky-haired man sprawled on the toilet who, when woken from his concoction of substances-induced sleep by his distraught woman, walked directly to the bar with an oblivious grin and ordered another drink. He wasn't the main character of this story. The guy who succeeded in opening the door was the hero of the night, and he knew it. For the next 2 hours, he strutted around like the cat's meow. Beaming, he recounted the story of how he opened the door to everyone, including me. I probably heard it 4 times. Each time he told it, it got more impressive, and each time, someone would buy him a drink. The image sticks with me because it was both so comical and so telling. This was one of the diviest dive bars in the country with a diverse array of intoxicated, high, and strung-out customers. Every demographic was represented, with the exception of the successful. And what I saw there was universal. So,
how many Ohioans does it take to open a bathroom door?
Yeah,
what do you make of this story of heroic exploits?
First of all, it is darkly funny to write this article for in the online pages of if the publication itself, its founder certainly did have a part in killing an actual real hero.
Yeah, very much so.
But I don't know. I just like all of this stuff where you like mystify something like this. This happens every day in most people's life, that they help somebody do something, whether they are intimately acquainted with the person or not. And I get there is some like kernel of truth in here, right? That like I don't even think it's just gendered, but most people would want like some type of meaning and to feel like
useful to other people,
to feel useful to others, and feel like the gravity of like a noticeable helping hand that they lend everyone else, and that there are precious few opportunities for that in the modern American economy. But it's just like people will say this, and then it's like, okay, then how do we do that? By listening to the guys in the McDonald's. What? How do we actually do it?
Well, I mean, like there's a number of people here he identifies as characters or heroes in this story, but I think the unspoken hero in this incident is, of course, the bartender who continued to serve the guy after he was dragged out of his heroin-induced stupor in a toilet. But no, I mean, he goes on with some suggestions here, and it says, most of the kids the author spoke to were pretty well educated, and a lot of them found meaning in talking about Homer and Virgil, ancient poets who understood the importance of heroes. It reminded me of an article in The Nation I read earlier this year, which is all about the dangers of epic poetry. The writer Orlando Reed argues that the ancient hero archetype is corrosive bad, and unnecessary. An outdated concept of masculinity which promotes imperialism. I thought at the time this writer is simply wrong. I thought of that dive bar. So I like Wily Ulysses, who went to his truck and removed a door from its hinges.
You are the only person in history who will remember that article. The person that wrote it doesn't remember that. And are people in Ohio going, I would help the local guy in my bathroom in my community, but the nation told me that heroes are gay?
I wonder if there's I was gonna ask Thomas, we talk sometimes about the kind of stupidity, male loneliness, stoicism, jujitsu world, on the show, and how kind of if maybe you're just lonely, maybe that's it, you're just lonely, but it seems like one of those things where you're oh, all men want to be heroes. I think all men just want to have beer with a guy they kind of like. That's you want to have a few beers with a group of guys that tolerate you and you tolerate them. But if you're denied that, because you got laid off at Amazon and you don't have any money, then you think about all days and ways that you could save that guy from, drinking 1,000 Coors Banquets and smoking Fent in a handicap stall. What were you going to say, Thomas?
I was going to say if I had a loved one tell an entire bar that I'd fallen asleep with poop on my butt and that they needed to save me, I would do No Russian as soon as I woke up. As soon as that door gets broken down, everybody in that bar is hitting the floor. There's no. I would rather die of an overdose than be saved by a guy with tools from his truck. If Bob the Builder comes to save me, I'm not. No, thank you. I'm good on that. Because that guy is trying to fuck your girlfriend.
Yeah,
he doesn't
that's
get
true.
tools out of his truck.
Yeah,
he doesn't give a fuck about. You're pooping. You're shooting up and pooping. You know what I mean?
You're
well, I mean, this echoes a famous scene from epic poetry when Aeneas carries his father out of the bathroom of Troy.
Yeah. Well, what is this? This is one of those it's a common topic of conversation that I find myself having with my friends. We'll talk about how kind of stupid the what was it, the Gogginsification of the average American young male mind. Where it's you're alone out there in this world of dive bars and part-time jobs and scrolling on your phone, and the only way to prove yourself is through feats of great strength, as if you're the village retard everywhere you go. Everybody.
Just to be clear, this is David Goggins, not Walton Goggins.
Yeah, David Goggins, not Walton Goggins. Everybody.
You're alone, little boy.
I got some tools in my truck, partner. You and every guy in the bar are completely in their own heads. One day I'm going to save a man, and I'm going to fuck his wife. That is where every man is, I guess, mentally and emotionally.
I think boys just want to have fun. But the article goes on. It says the trouble is this archetype is kind of at odds with the modern liberal project, which favors the individual over the community and preaches that each of us can create a bespoke identity, like a tailor-made suit. Young people are supposed to break out of the mold instead of trying to follow in others' footsteps. But from what I've observed in my years walking cities from Phnom Penh, Cambodia to Buenos Aires, Argentina, the bulk of members of society choose to and would rather play a stock character. People want a role in life: the hero, the joker, the damsel in distress. So I don't know, have you guys considered this? If you had to be if you were building an adventuring party, what stock character would you be?
Oh yeah. Jewish liar.
Yeah, just Felix rolling the dice to enter the cave and rolls a 3 on dexterity and is oh well, the roll wasn't official, it wasn't my real roll. So I roll again and maybe I get what role are you in the kind of world of D&D? Kind of, are you the bard? Do you use your gift of gab? I guess Felix is the Jewish liar. I think I would probably be, I don't know. Every man wants to be I'm the Nord that goes fucking hard as hell on the villain.
Yeah, I'm Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
But I would probably be just if you're Felix, if you're Jewish liar, I'm just alcoholic schizophrenic. I guess I'm like I'm probably like the mage that's like, I'm gonna conjure up a familiar, and it's just like a ghost of my dad, and me and him hang out and like, smoke cigarettes. Thomas, you're probably the
big-breasted, beautiful sniper. Perched up on a hill, I got the rifle on my titties. I'm about to let it bang.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I kind of agree with Chris here in that, like, I don't really care what part I'm playing in the story, as long as I'm the hero, as long as I'm the main character.
Yeah. Well, like,
See,
what do you think cause if men all day are thinking about different ways to save people, what goes on in women's heads? What are they thinking about?
Shopping.
Yeah.
Women are imagining much more intricate scenario. Every woman's internal monologue is like a mini YA extended universe.
Okay.
Based on their friends and enemies at their job.
Yeah. There's the old cliche of like, women will hold grudges for like 20 years, and men, they just, you save a heroin addict from the bathroom from shitting himself to death, and then he's your best friend for the next 20 years, or whatever the fuck,
He's your familiar. He's now a party member. He goes everywhere with you until he dies.
You save a lady, and she's like, turns out she's this great archeress or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
You just save Tugboat from fucking shitting himself to death from a fent OD, and every time you get into a bar fight from here on out, he just materializes behind you.
Spirit summoned, the guy from the bathroom. Yeah.
Hey, dude, I got Glock 9 in the trunk, and then I got a bazooka. Also, we can figure this fucking shit out easy stuff.
Yeah, you can constantly call him on the Kodak if you're like you're buying like a Samsung Galaxy off of Craigslist. He's an expert in that.
Dude,
situation.
I'm not kidding. That I have one of those guys for real. Now that I think about it, his name is Chad. He builds rice burners for a living, and every time I've gone to do a Facebook Marketplace deal, he shows up to my house somehow. And last one we did together, he wore a pair of, you'll love this, Felix. He wore a pair of blown out, true to life, and one basketball shorts. And the Glock that he took with him kept falling out of the shorts onto the floor of my car. And I asked him, I was like, why did you bring the Glock, dude? And he's like, you got to bring one of these every time you go do one of these. You never know what people, I was like, I'm buying this fucking truck from my buddy from like a nice Vietnamese, like old guy. And he's like, you never know. They might want to get their get back. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, they won! I was like,
won that
war. Dude, Chad, we were in traffic going to get the truck, and Chad was like, "You want to hold it?" And I was like, "What? The gun?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Chad, I've held a gun before. I've born in Texas. I've held a pistol." He's like, "Yeah, you ain't hold this one." I was like, "Chad, it's been on your balls like for 2 hours."
It's also a Glock, like the most popular handgun in the world.
Yeah.
Ever seen one of these?
I did hold it, and I did dry fire it in the car, just so you guys know. Yeah, that's the best.
But no, that's polite.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
Arnott sort of like anticipates where our conversation is going, and he closes out by saying, probably the expert on all of this was the sociologist Irving Goffman, who spent decades observing how people occupy cultural roles and basically concluded that when we are in public, we are basically all actors with a part to play. Like Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage. To put it another way, cultures are a bit like video games. They provide citizens with a limited array of characters to play, each with different strengths and weaknesses. A successful society will accept a person's desire to play a role and do its best to encourage and promote healthy archetypes that ordinary people can inspire to fulfill. In Japan, it might be the dedicated craftsperson. In England, the eccentric tinker. In France, the 5-hour smoking alone, pontificating on stuff he doesn't really understand at the cafe guy. And he closes by saying, people are obsessed with the angry young man for Trump. But what good will come of dismissing these kids as sexist and insisting that hero is an old-fashioned idea?
Okay. Haven't we had enough of this article?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, man?
Chris Arnott, he thinks everybody, is he one of those like writers that just thinks every man in America is Adam Lanza? Like he's just in his mind is just every guy is just this like profoundly lonely, like fucking dude who does Dance Revolution videos before.
No, he's more of like, actually, like he did like a lot of like photojournalism around like 2016, and there was like some interesting stuff there just about like the types of communities and types of peoples types of lives that like don't really get extensively documented in American media, for sure. But like, just this thing where you're like, the liberal way of doing things, where you say these guys are bad, is not working. Well, yeah, okay, they lost again. Clearly, even if they weren't even, they were just delivering a contentless campaign this last time in an effort to offend nobody except people who were like against the ongoing genocide. This is just, it's not saying anything that I haven't read a billion fucking times before.
Yeah, well, you'll love the last sentence where he says, far better that hero is an old-fashioned idea. Far better to celebrate men for wanting to save a trapped man in a bathroom or rush into a burning building. Who cares if they're all trying to do is get praise from a woman or a free drink? America would be a better place. And like, I don't think the bathroom story he told is as comparable to, let's say, running into a burning building to save someone's life.
Yeah. And also, like, it's just like, who are you arguing against? Like, is there
that
like,
guy in The Nation who said that Achilles is not woke?
Exactly. It's like, is there like a figurehead for the Democratic Party? Like, are they sending Jerry Connolly out there and he's like, I have one day to live. All I have to say is those guys in that bathroom should die.
Do you remember,
like, what are you arguing against?
You know that line from True Detective? It's real intense moment, and Russ Cole goes, "The world needs bad men. Keep good of bad men from the door." It's just that guy at the bathroom, and he's like, "The world needs fat men. We keep other fat men from the door." It's like everybody like trying to politicize what sounds like to me just a dope ass Columbus Tuesday night is kind of just bizarre. Like, if you were to go to a Pendejo time after party at a dive bar in Chicago, and then you were to like kind of take inventory of the room and try to be like, there are moral and political things happening in here, you're fucking sucking your own dick. Like, just any dive bar in America doesn't have to be like, I'm just trying to think like, what are we like, strip all of this of its gravitas and its pomp and circumstance. There was just a fucking tweaker in the bathroom, and a bunch of drunk idiots tried to kick the door and it didn't work. And then one guy had the bright idea to go, I have a Phillips head screwdriver. You guys heard of this? And then, open the door up, and then, out he comes to go get another beer.
I don't know. I mean, it's just like the Homeric epic. It is hard to be a hero like that in the modern world, because the fact of the matter is Poseidon is just not fucking with people the way he used to. And like, if you're going to be Ulysses, you need to anger the gods in some way and then be like fucked with for 30 years before coming back home to Ithaca.
Okay. And also, not for nothing, writing an article.
Anyway, let's take a look at what Kyle had to say about his former friend, Joe Rogan.
This is a guy who originally said, I don't want to interview Donald Trump because I don't want to help him out inadvertently. I don't want to rehabilitate him. I got no interest in doing that. He went from that position to, yes, I want to talk to him, to, I'm going to give him a hot stone massage on air, to, I'm going to endorse him and go to the inauguration. Then he went to, I don't know if it's actually a good idea to totally get rid of due process for immigrants, bro. I feel like that might go like a little too far, bro. So, he was a Trump meat writer. Then the shit hit the fan, and he tepidly, tiny criticism, and then he runs away, right? And he does the classic trick that everybody in MAGA does, which is when something bad happens, you just generally criticize the thing mildly, but you don't bring up Trump, and you don't go to town on it.
And that's exactly what Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tim Dillon did throughout their entire exchange with one another. They would bring something up. They'd be like, it's certainly a bad look, but I support our president. And then they would move the fuck on.
Compare the way he talks about the left compared to when he has a criticism of Trump. Never mentions Trump name, fucking soft pedals the shit out of it. But when it's the left, oh, these people are crazy, bro. They're so crazy, bro.
Yup. That's so true.
He's a guy.
It's an annoying, double standard. And I would have some level of respect for people like Joe Rogan if they did actually use their fucking influence and platform for good. Like, okay, you have Trump's fucking number. You have some level of influence with right-wing media. Fucking use it. and not just to make these tepid bullshit fucking stupid criticisms without naming Trump, but to actually go fucking hard on the guy, to say like, this is a disgrace. I feel bad for enabling this. I feel bad for helping this guy get into office, and part of my attempts to seek redemption will be calling him out by name and actually being honest about what the fuck is going on in this country, right? Again, not that it would totally repair his legacy. That's long gone. But if you actually want to claw your way back to dignity, that's what you got to do.
100%. But it doesn't seem like that's what he's doing, right? It doesn't seem like he has any interest in really doing that. He just wants to insulate him further at the mothership, right? Stay in Austin, Texas, even though it sucks, even though there's more comedians turning on Austin every single day. It's kind of been a beat that we've been covering, Gavin, and I pulled 2 clips of, honestly, the GOAT comedian in the game right now. Stavros, maybe my favorite guy on the internet, always makes me laugh. I love his podcast content. I love that he's not too self-serious, but he actually is, a good stand-up comic. He's not just a podcaster. Anyway, this is a clip from a little bit ago where he had a comedian I'd never heard of named Jordan Jensen on his podcast, and you can tell she's trying to use his show as a launch pad to get invited on Joe Rogan's podcast, and Stavros is not having it, bro. He's not having it. He pretty much humiliates her live on his own podcast. It's glorious. He just starts making fun of her relentlessly.
Yep. I saw this when it dropped, but I'm excited to relive it.
With you on all this stuff.
Feminism is dead, dude.
But what you're talking about is a form of feminism. You're talking about.
I want it to come back.
Okay.
Remember hairy armpits? Now it's unacceptable.
I don't think that's true.
It's okay in Bushwick, but it's not cool.
Yeah,
So
it's fine.
What's that? The Italian lady had, who's hot.
Oh yes. I know who you're talking
Sophia
about.
Loren.
Sophia Loren.
Yeah, she had.
I got no problem with hairy armpits. I'm on
That's
record.
fine,
Yeah.
but it's very rare to see it on like an actual empowered woman. It's on like a vegan trans who has like non-binary cats or whatever.
This is really interesting because you're actually saying radical feminism with Kill Tony vocabulary right now. It's like a fascinating. I'm having a hard time even because we do agree, but you're throwing these like anti-cancel culture buzzwords out.
There's a way to
you're
be.
like, it's like how Ian is embarrassed of being gay, so he pretends to be Republican. You're doing this.
Yeah.
You're embarrassed to be a feminist, so you're pretending to be Republican right now.
No, I think if you're a feminist, then you also have to have issues with trans stuff. You have to, because when a trans person goes, now I'm a woman, and they get giant fake tits, you have to be like, hey.
No, I don't think that's true.
You don't have to, but you got to go a little bit alone, and when you're in a room alone, you have to go, hey.
You're saying no. I think this is about you wanting big fake tits and to look
I
like
don't
that.
want that. Why would you want to add more weight?
So wait. What's your? So you're coming out as a trans exclusionary radical feminist, the TERF.
I'm not a TERF.
Okay, well, what you talking? What you said was very turfy right there.
No,
if you're
I think that if you
you have to have an
transition
issue
to
with
be a
trans
woman,
women.
if you transition to be a woman, you've probably undergone the same amount of shit that a woman has undergone, like
I think you've
societally.
gone through some different, but yes.
Yeah, totally.
Equally bad
If my dog kind of looks like a cat. If people go, is that a cat? I go, yeah, she looks like a cat. She's a cat. If you want her to be a cat, she's a cat. I don't give a fuck what you want to be.
Okay.
But I do want women to stop being little fucking cum goblins.
Okay, now we switch to a different thing.
With the
Also, what is it with the TERF comedians' inability to actually make a goddamn single funny joke about the subject that they're so obsessed with? I say this a million times, but I'm like, just hit me with an actually fucking funny joke about the trans experience or the trans community, and it'll you'll be able to get away with a lot more. Like, I'm sorry, here's some advice to you fucking anti-trans bigots. Like, actually just figure out a way to make it somewhat funny and not just like an ideological screed of fucking, stupid pet peeves you have with society, which is what it always sounds like. Even in that clip, she's trying her best to like make it funny, but it's really like, where's the joke? You're just like being cruel and transphobic.
And it's crazy too, because it's like a mind virus, right? It's like Ozempic for your brain. It just starts eating away at whatever part of you made you once funny, and it just replaces it with like this hateful punchline that never works. It never lands. It happened to the greatest comedian, one of the greatest comedians of all time. People, Dave wasn't ever that funny. Dave Chappelle used to be really fucking funny, man, and it ate the funny part of his brain, and it just became totally hateful, and it was the same punchline every single time, and it was lazy, and it was derogatory, and it was a cheap shot. It wasn't inventive, and we all knew, Dave, you're too talented to have like one observation over the last 10 years. How is this your only observation? I don't like trans women. It really makes it seem like you like trans women a lot, and you don't feel comfortable with that, so you have to like humiliate them and degrade them publicly, right? That's the impression I've always gotten from Dave, but then it took over the entire comedy sphere. And Gavin,
also, are we not going to get to the part where he calls her out for using the T slur?
Oh, we could definitely go back to that. I was just gonna say she got her way because she immediately 9 days later got invited on the Joe Rogan Experience.
That's crazy. Yeah, I didn't realize she actually went on Rogan. But yeah, that clip kind of like, I'm not sure if it's in that clip that you have, but it kind of climaxes when Stabby like calls her out for using the T slur. It's a pretty
shit that a woman has under
moment.
Let me see if we can find that really quick because I do still have this pulled up right here.
Cool.
gone like
I think you've
societally.
gone through some different, but yes,
Yeah, totally.
equally bad
If somebody,
stuff.
if my dog kind of looks like a cat. If people go, is that a cat? I go, yeah, she looks like a cat. She's a cat. If you want her to be a cat, she's a cat. I don't give a fuck what you want to be.
Okay.
But I do want women to stop being little fucking cum goblins
Okay, now we switch to a different thing.
with the lips.
Okay, you just mean cum goblin to you just means like succumbing to the male gaze, being like a sex doll, that kind of vibe, bimbo aesthetic, that kind of
And
thing.
the way they talk.
Mm-hmm.
A kid asked if I was a boy the other day.
And is that what this is all about?
I talk normal, and other girls talk like fucking.
Okay.
He said, can I throw a ball for your dog? I said, oh, heck yeah. And he goes,
Yeah.
are you a boy? And I said, I don't know.
I don't know anymore. I want to get my tits chopped off like Robbie Hoffman.
I don't understand. It sucks.
Okay, you're going through something, is what
It's
this
New
is.
York. It's New York.
What is this? What's going on?
I'm about to
Do
get
you
my
feel
period.
undesirable?
I'm about to get my period. I just went through a breakup on Tuesday.
Again, I think last time you were here, you were just going. It's probably the same guy, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
This happened 7 times since I've known you. This exact same. I mean, this is the most time is a flat circle podcast there is.
Yeah.
Every time you've done this podcast, you just.
I'm not sure when
broken
the
up
actual
with it.
calling out happens.
Sure.
It might be like 10, 15 minutes from this timestamp. But either way, there is a point where it gets a little bit spicier. Not a huge deal. I'm sure you guys can find the clip online. But yeah, this one's also really funny.
Yeah, Stavvy's an OG Austin hater, guys, and that's what I really respect about Stavros. He just doubled, tripled down. He was like, I don't need Joe Rogan's audience. I have my own audience. We'll find our own audience. We don't have to like kiss his ass just because we're in the podcasting sphere. And the balls to go to Austin and perform this set is just incredible. And I think we're really entering the Stavvy era. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, but do you actually know if this was at the Comedy Mothership or was it just at some other club in Austin?
Oh, that's a really good question. Let me look. It doesn't say. I don't think it's actually at the Mothership, though it might be. It kind of looks like it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Because, yeah, it's becoming increasingly unpopular for comedians to want to perform at the Mothership, but I feel like a year or so, whenever this was recorded, it probably was like, it wasn't so controversial yet.
Sure, it definitely could be. I'll find out after we watch this.
Here, Austin, fun town. You guys are building a lot of really shitty houses. It looks like a lot of just absolute dog shit apartment buildings. It's really funny. A lot of tech piece of shit moving in. This is awesome. It was like pretty shitty here before. You know what I mean? Like I came here 6 years ago. I was like, damn, a lot of fucking losers are making this town horrible. And then I'm here 7 years later, just a bunch of guys who are like tweeting at Elon Musk all the time. I mean, first of all, there's tons. Who the fuck are we kidding, right? Even people that like him know that's stupid, right? You all know that, right? You think that's a good idea? You're like, you've got the look of a fan. You gotta change. You gotta queer eye yourself a little bit. You do look like an internet reply guy. I hate to say it. We gotta get you some bright floral prints or something. You know what I mean? It's just some. What do you do, buddy? What do you? So get out of here. All right, you're the opposite of that. Wow, I'm so sorry, dude. You actually doing something good for the world, and I fucking accused you of speculative investing. My apologies. Do you have a job, buddy? What's going on? How's your life?
I actually work in building their shitty houses.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that puts all the shit on Instagram.
That's not a part of the job. That's not. Hold on, you're telling me construction workers are making content now? With the social media team for construction?
So anyway.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm back at it with another bonus interview episode out this week for you. Right now, I'm joined by a reporter with LA Taco, Memo Torres. Memo, how's it going?
Going well, man, as well as it could be with all this ice siege and ice activity all over Los Angeles. How you doing, man?
I'm all right. I mean, it seems like the whole country is under siege right now, and LA has always been at the forefront of it, and that's why we wanted to get you on to talk about this. But before we get into that, could you just tell me a little bit about LA Taco and how you guys sort of went from covering food culture in LA to doing some really indispensable reporting on the ongoing siege of your city by federal agencies?
Yeah, if you're not familiar with LA Taco out there, crash course. We started off as a blog in 2006 that covered graffiti, cannabis, and food, specifically tacos. In 2018, we relaunched as a publication and started doing more news coverage, culture, arts of Los Angeles, investigative journalism. But yeah, we've always been 50% food, 50% news, culture, arts. And then when, on June 6th, when Trump sent his troops here and they did the first raid at an apparel company in downtown Los Angeles, we immediately knew what was happening. And we just we took all our resources, all our community connections, and just felt this kind of instinctual reaction to cover ICE from now on.
Well, from your perspective in Los Angeles, I know this is a broad question, but how bad is it? What have you been seeing, and is it going to get worse?
It's getting worse. It's definitely getting worse. It's pretty bad. I think one thing we have to remind people that Los Angeles is huge. It's a huge metropolitan area. So if you're not paying attention to what's going on, and if I'm not reporting on what's happening, it's easy to forget that the ICE raids are happening. So we constantly try to give voice that look, they took 20 people today, they took 18, they raided 20 different parts of LA today. And I feel like it's been getting slowly worse and worse and worse. We've gone from maybe having 1 or 2 days where they took 20 to 25 people to now that's starting to become more common. We're starting to see that more every day now.
And in your reporting, you say every day they took another 20 people from here, another 30 people from here. In covering this, when you say they get taken, what happens to these people once they're taken?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. A lot of them get taken first to the Metropolitan Detention Center, which is short for MDC, in downtown LA. That's where the main federal building is, the main detention center. The infamous now B18, the basement B18. They get processed through there. They get held there for maybe a day or two, and then they start getting shipped around. Some will be sent to Adelanto. Some will get sent to Arizona. Some get sent to Texas. And if you're following any of the coverage, you see that that's one of the tactics the administration is using to keep detainees away from their families, but more importantly, their lawyers. So it's hard for them to be in touch with lawyers and have their legal help.
And what does it feel like I know we're dealing with this in New York right now. I mean, ICE are assaulting people at the federal building in Lower Manhattan right now. They just sent a journalist to the hospital today. What's it like for you covering these? When you interact with ICE agents, and it seems to me that they have sort of markedly ramped up their assaults on journalists or anyone filming them, or just anyone trying to oppose them in any way, not just the targets of these arrests.
Yeah, I mean, look, ICE is petty. First of all, Border Patrol and ICE are super petty. If anybody's recording them, they turn around and start assaulting them, and then we'll file a charge against whoever was recording them and claim that the person recording them assaulted them. Just this weekend, we had this incident where they raided a Home Depot in Ladera Heights, and there was one person, a gentleman, was coming out from shopping inside a Home Depot and heard this guy screaming because this guy was being taken to the floor and being tortured as he was getting handcuffed. So he came over to record and try to get his name. So I say just went after him, and they tackled him to the ground. Just as that was happening, this other woman named Rachel was pulling up, and she's part of the rapid response group of that area. And she started recording as well. And they got mad, and then they grabbed her and they threw her in the van. So they took 2 day laborers. They took a lady that was selling tortillas at a stand just on the corner. And those 2 people that were observing, the U.S. citizen that came out from shopping and was just kind of trying to figure out what was going on, and the lady that came to try to record and try to get the guy's numbers that were being taken. They threw her in the van, Then they went down the street as they usually do. They usually after they do a raid, they rendezvous in the area somewhere else. They find an empty parking lot, which they did down the street at Buckingham Parkway. And then they thought it was empty, but there was people inside of the office buildings that came out to screens to also document that. And they could see that one of the guys was down on the floor. They beat his legs and beat his knees so that he could get down on his knees. They tasered him in the ribs. The other lady, the other observer who's a U.S. citizen, was screaming for help, and she eventually according to witnesses, she was beaten badly and she was beaten unconscious to the point where they needed to get an ambulance. She got taken to the Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Marina del Rey. And the person that was observing that, the third person that was observing that, they started chasing her. And she started running, and as they were chasing her, they were like, "Why are you running? Why are you running?" Now they wanted to arrest her, but she was able to get back into her office before they did that. Which is one of the MOs of ICE. For them, if anybody runs, they're guilty of something, so they're going to arrest you. And they've been doing nothing but like arrest now, verify later policies, where people will get dropped off now in the middle of the street somewhere after they verify that they're a permanent resident or U.S. citizen.
From your perspective, like, what is the profile? I mean, you said of ICE, they're petty, but like, what is the profile of the average ICE agent? Because like, from my perspective of what I see, they look like a gang of otherwise unemployable, peanut-headed thugs. But like, I know they've like, I mean, like, I know they're offering like student loan forgiveness if you join, the American Gestapo. But like, from what ranks of society are they drawing this huge workforce of like deep, ICE just thugs? Like, I don't know what else to call them.
Yeah, no. Since this has all started, I think I've seen every single video of every raid, every kidnapping, every agent, and it got to the point where like I had nicknames for a lot of them, and I sort of got half of them look like Buzz Lightyear. They got their tight masks on, and their face, they're fat. They're like, yeah, there's a bunch of dorks. They're out of shape. There's a couple dudes that just look like Bane. They got all roided out. It's like the weirdest. Like, what I was thinking about this morning was like, this literally feels like we're living in a Mad Max world where you have all these group of like freaks, different sizes, out of shape, dorks, losers, quirky dudes, masked up and going out on raids every single day and grabbing like hardworking people.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like, I know there's a certain personality type attracted to law enforcement, but these people seem like someone who have never had authority in their life and have now been given godlike authority to, intimidate, torture, and even kill anyone who stands in their way. And particularly just, let's be honest, like anyone who looks Latino walking the streets of Los Angeles or any other major American city. Like, are there any, for people who are like worried, like, are there any tells for like, how do you identify an ICE agent? I mean, I know here in New York, like, it used to be like if you saw a guy milling around just outside the turnstile on the subway and he had like a Jets or Yankees starter jacket and was just hanging out there, pretty good chance he's an undercover cop. Like, right. what are like, are there any tells after observing ICE agents for as long as you have?
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like, I think it's kind of a gut feeling that you develop after a while. Yeah, they'll wear like, and it's just, it sounds very simple, but they'll wear T-shirts. A lot of them are tatted now. They're they have a lot of tattoos. They have these. They're into their haircuts. They're all into their haircuts, first of all. So it's like these white dudes trying to dress like they're street people. Like regular, normal street people. So it's like they just don't fit in. Like you go, if they're in Compton or in Boyle Heights or in Inglewood, and you're just like, you see them, you see the neighborhood people, and then you look at them, it's like they're not dressed the same. They don't fit in. Like you could just tell. They try to maintain a low profile, but in maintaining that low profile, they give themselves up.
Well, like in these neighborhoods, like in like the Los Angeles is in many ways like the Latino capital of America, but like in these communities, in these neighborhoods, what's it feel like to just live in Los Angeles right now, even if you are documented or even if you are a U.S. citizen?
Well, it's scary. I think everybody's living in fear. I have a lot of connections with community people. I go out to eat a lot still, and I just hear these stories of people just living in fear. I have. The other day I ran into a friend of mine who was like, dude, I got pulled over by an ICE agent. I was riding my bike and they stopped me. They rushed me, like fucking 5 guys just ran up to me, grabbed me and wanted to take me, and I had to prove that I was a U.S. citizen.
Well, how were they able to prove that that they were a U.S. citizen?
Well, they started talking shit to him in English. First of all, he's got good English, and then he pulled out his real ID. So I guess the real ID was enough, and that was enough to let him go. But he's like, yeah, they harassed me for about half an hour before they let me go. You have situations where, like in restaurants, the other day I went to a restaurant and the owner was telling me how sheriffs came in to eat, and he took their order. He turned around to the kitchen, and the kitchen staff were all gone. Like they just saw a green uniform and they booked it. And like, you know, people are just living in fear, especially in the Spanish communities, you know, like and a lot of the Latino communities don't understand the difference between sheriff, ICE, Border Patrol, and all the different agencies. And a lot of them are not going to wait around to take a chance. If they see somebody that looks like some kind of a law enforcement agency, they book it, they run. You know, like, you know, LA's living in fear, and it's very traumatizing right now.
Well, I mean, like, and I mean, I wish I could say that was misplaced. I mean, like, this is a very grim subject, and it really does feel like all of the evil in this country is sort of congealing in one moment right now. But like, I got to bring this up because the fact of the matter is that a lot of people keep dying in ICE custody, or if they aren't dying, they're being severely mistreated. And I just want to talk about, like, you covered a story of a man named Ismael Alaya Uribe. Could you discuss who he was and what happened in the circumstances surrounding his death?
Yeah, that was a really difficult story to cover. It was me and my team. We now have a team here that's helping me cover the ICE. I have Aisha Wallace Palomares and Izzy Ramirez, who I've kind of brought under my wings to help me cover all of this. We had to dig into the story and look at different facets of what happened because, one, DHS never tells you the truth. DHS is always full of shit. And everything, a statement they put out, they're lying. Bill Saley, the acting federal attorney, has tried to bring charges against all these people that are observers or at protest or even people they arrest, and the courts have thrown out like 90% of them, saying like these are false. They're like blatantly false statements by the DHS. So we have to dig around and find the families, find what actually happened. And this young gentleman got arrested at a car wash. While he was working, he's been at the car wash, working there as a manager. He's been there for 15 years. He was brought to the U.S. when he was 4 years old. He was a DACA recipient. Didn't have children, but he's an uncle to kids and godfather to his nephew and niece. And poor guy. He ended up getting taken to the Adelanto Detention Center. This was about a month ago. And within 2 weeks, I spoke to his mom, and she would tell me how she would go visit them. And he just started with a cough and was like, hey, get some medical attention. He's like, Mom, they won't do anything for me. And then she went back the next week, and they started looking real pale and, you know, bloodshot eyes, and was like, you need to get some medical attention. And he's like, they won't believe I'm sick, Mom. They won't give me anything. And finally, he collapsed, shaking and convulsing. And that's when the prison set the alarm blue, the code blue alarm. And they came and they gave him a shot, and they started giving him 500 milligrams of Tylenol 3 times a day. So that last time they saw him, she said she went on a Saturday, and that he was like, Mom, I can't anymore. I can't anymore, Mom. I can't do this anymore. So she said she was going to talk to the lawyer on Monday. But that Sunday, she got notice that he got taken to the local hospital. He was there for about 14 hours. And on Monday morning at 5:30 in the morning, Huntington Beach police showed up at her door to give her the news that her son had passed away. And basically what had happened is that he had developed an abscess that got infected. And I've had an abscess before. That shit is painful as fuck.
Yeah.
I almost died from an abscess. Like it's no fucking joking matter. Like that shit is terrible to try to have it without any medication. And that shit will kill you. And it did to that point.
So, I mean, what you're describing is circumstances in which, like, a guy who had been in this country since he was 4 years old and working since he was 4.
Yeah.
Working as a manager of a car wash, is arrested just like not because he did any crime, but just because his legal status was in dispute. Was sent to some sort of detention center or prison where he was denied medical care repeatedly that caused him to die. How confident are we that like this kind of incompetence or negligence is not, in fact, like a systematic matter of policy?
Oh, I mean, it's definitely a matter of policy. Adelanto facility is no stranger to having deaths. They've had several deaths in the past. This is just the first death they've had this year alone. There's other facilities that are being reopened by the administration that were shut down because of their negligence, because of the amount of deaths and medical negligence they've had. Constantly we have reports of people being taken who are diabetic or have cancer or taking some kind of medications for blood pressure or whatever, and agents will throw the medications out and not give it to these people, and somehow some of these people get very sick and ill. It forces some people to just self-deport and say, like, screw it, I'm just going to self-deport and sign the paperwork so they get deported because they're afraid of dying in jail. It's a very real thing. And most people ask, well, why don't all these people self-deport? Why do they stick around? Well, most of these people that are being detained have been in the U.S., have families, have been here for 10 years. They own businesses. Their lives are here. And apart from, like, you know, those horror stories you hear about them being afraid to go back to their home countries because they might be persecuted in their home countries, they've built a life here. So they're staying here for the off chance that they get to get a court hearing and get to get released on bail at least and get back to their families.
Like, you know, given what you're describing, like a policy of, you know, ethnic cleansing and intentional disregard that leads to circumstances that leads to kind of like a passive extermination of people. Like, do you feel that, like, when people refer to ICE as the American Gestapo or these as Nazi tactics, do you feel that that's like appropriate or is that misplaced?
I would like to say that they're worse. They're worse because they're cowards. They're hiding their faces, right? They don't want to identify themselves. I think that they slowly are leading that way. I mean, we don't have full-on death camps, you know? We don't have full-on concentration camps, but how far away are we from that? You know, we're with Alligator Alcatraz. I think there's about 300 detention camps, and there's only like 190 something that are publicly known. Right. And so like a lot of these people are just, and then you take into account that ICE is really not about paperwork. You know, they've stopped updating their page on the deaths in their detention centers. You know, I have the count of a total of 16. Their page still only shows 13. You know, they haven't showed the last 3. They haven't updated it. They stopped doing paperwork. They scrapped paperwork. They used to have to file paperwork as to where they're going to go, who they were going to detain, file all of that. They said, nah, we're not doing that anymore because it just takes too much time. So this whole culture of, like, screw the paperwork, just grab, detain, verify later, throw them in jail, and, you know, whatever. Like, it's a complete recklessness for due process, for bureaucratic elements that are supposed to put safeguards on the citizens that they're taking or the residents that they're taking or all immigrants. It's a complete disregard for all due process.
Like, when you consider that, I'm just wondering, like, because I see people, at least like online, or people who support this, or people who say, I voted for this, and people who talk about the victims of, you know, like the targets of these raids and of these deaths as invaders, that these people have invaded our country, or it's like some sort of, like, they're waging war against America, or they're a threat to America. I mean, I'm not asking to psychoanalyze these people, but, like, how do you feel? Like, what does that make you feel when you see that, like, to a certain chunk of America, this is not just, like, not horrifying or shameful, but like something to be celebrated or something to be gloated over?
I don't know, man. I don't understand it. How do you celebrate families being detained? In Chicago, there's a video of a poor 5-year-old little girl watching her parents get taken. And then you see a picture of her in a detention cell with a yellow plastic bag over her trying to stay warm on a bench all by herself. How do people lose their humanity? You know, I mean, when people start hailing laws and due process, yet celebrate the law enforcement that are acting lawlessly and have no due process, like how do you equate the both? How do you justify it? How do you celebrate that? You know, it's complete hypocrisy to me in my mind.
Or like, how do you believe that America is like the best and most powerful country in the world, but like a 5-year-old girl is like an existential threat to this country or your safety? It's just, right. I don't have an explanation for it. I really don't.
Everybody they've gone after here in Los Angeles. Look, everybody said this. I've said this. The criminals, the cartels, yeah, like take them. Nobody wants criminals and cartel activity, but who are they actually going after?
They're very clearly not doing that.
Yeah, people sell an old lady selling tamales on the street, an old man waiting for the bus to go to work. People gardening, people at the day labor center just looking for their next meal. Like it's literally they're going after people that speak Spanish, are in work clothes, and have dark skin. That's literally who they're going after, which is workers. People that contribute to the economy.
I mean, I've said this before on other episodes of my show, but like I when I think about this, I think it's in the minds of someone like Stephen Miller, like who I think is like probably the intellectual godfather behind what we're seeing in the streets of Los Angeles or Chicago or New York. I think someone who is in this country undocumented or here illegally, who's committing serious crimes, who's like murdering people or raping or fucking doing home invasions. I think them being in this country is less of a threat to their ideology than that old woman who's selling tamales or that guy who's like doing a roof. I think the idea of like, whatever you want to call it, immigrants, undocumented people, Latinos in this country who are just working, having families, starting businesses, becoming a part of the fabric of just American life and economy and culture, that to them is what they regard as the existential threat, not MS-13, not cartels, not drug dealers.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And to them, this whole image of like MS-13. Here in Los Angeles, I am so sick and tired of them using MS-13 to justify their raids. They're like, they did the whole staging at MacArthur Park here in Los Angeles, where they pulled out everybody, U.S. Marshals, Border Patrol, ICE, Department of Homeland Security, ATF, DEA, on horses, on military tanks, marching down through a park where there were kids literally just having a little summer camp there, because to them, that's MS-13 territory. We haven't seen MS-13 here in LA for like the longest time. I mean, we're talking about like that shit that happened when I grew up. I haven't seen a goddamn MS-13 member in like forever, in over 20 years. So like they're using this as like the boogeyman and justifying raids around like MacArthur Park area and the Westlake area as like, oh yeah, they're going after MS-13. Like really? MS-13 is selling tamales on the corner and looking for work at Home Depot? That's MS-13? Like, give me a fucking break.
I want to get back to something we were talking about a little earlier in this conversation, which is that like thus far, it seems like for ordinary civilians or people who are horrified by this, like the primary means of fighting back against this or resisting it if it happens in front of you is taking out your phone and filming what you see. And I'm just wondering, like, from your perspective, like, I've wondered like what I would do myself, because I see this happen on like screens. I know it's happening here in my city, but it hasn't happened like right in front of me. So right. In your opinion, like as someone who's covered this for a long time, are there a set of like best practices? If you see ICE taking someone on the streets, what should you do?
Yeah, very basics. You always have to remember the who, what, when, where's, how's. Okay, very basic. Like that's just basic writing, journalism 101. Who, what, when, where, how. When was it? Okay, narrate it through the phone. Put it on the captions. The date, the time. Where this is happening, not just like a general Los Angeles, like no, these cross streets in this city, okay? Because it's happening everywhere now, and it's like somebody who, like myself, who's documenting everything that's happening here in Los Angeles. Sometimes I come across videos and it's just like, ICE is here. Okay, great. Where are you? When was this?
Yeah.
Is it ICE? First of all, try to get pictures of the agents. Get video of the agents and the vehicles, especially because we can look up license plates. They're very tricky with their license plates, so that's a good tip to figure out if it's ICE or not. They switch out license plates on their vehicles all the time, so the license plate will not match the vehicle. So if you see like a F-150 truck and you look up the license plate might say it's a Camry, right? Or the license plates are all registered for some reason in Oklahoma. It'll be a California license plate, but the registered owner is in Oklahoma. Shit like that. Shit just doesn't match up. So that's how you know it's a nice vehicle, because they're unmarked. But yeah, but capture that, narrate. If you see people being taken, how many people are being taken, how many agents were there. If you can get close enough, but not too close, because they will rough you up and take your ass too. Try to ask the people being taken, what's your name and what's your birthday? don't ask him country of origin. I've seen people like doing that, especially at the immigration courts, where they're like, "What's your country of origin? Where are you from?" Don't ask him that, because they can use that to justify taking somebody, being like, "Yeah, he's not from here." Right?
Country of origin is America. That's what they are right now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the country they're from. Yeah.
So get all of that information. Make sure you document all of it, and it's important. The documentation process is really important. If not for now, at least for the future, but a lot of this documentation helps a lot of people get out of court, especially if they're getting accused of being of assaulting a federal agent, because federal agents are fucking pussies. All right, if you could put a camera at them, all of a sudden it's violence against them, according to Pam Bondi, right? You know, like So yeah, document all the details you can, all the context you can, and look for your local, if you're not a part of a rapid response group, if you're just in an area, look for the rapid response group in your area, or also look for the local immigration organizations that do immigration help. CHIRLA is a big national one too. You can reach out to CHIRLA and send that to them. They'll file it away. You know, I'm documenting everything as well too. So maybe in the future, some justice can be done, and all of this can be used in some court cases.
You've also you've done some stories about like incidents of community responders like actually foiling ICE or getting them to like pack up and go away. Like, what does that look like?
So, I was just talking about how like this morning about how some areas of LA, we know there's been like there's ICE raids happening, but we don't know about it in some areas, right? Like in the Valley, they don't have as many rapid response groups. I think there's only like one rapid response group in the Valley, and the Valley's huge. I'm talking about San Fernando Valley. It's huge. That like is the biggest part of LA, and people forget that that's actually the city of LA. But then you have areas in like Orange County where they've been hitting hard, like around Santa Ana, and in Long Beach. You know, in Long Beach they've been hitting Long Beach hard, and those rapid response groups have figured it out. They've gone together. So this is what it looks like. You have groups that are outside of Terminal Island. They're called the Harbor Peace Patrols, and they just sit out there, and just as the vehicles leave, they just take pictures of the license plates in the vehicles and be like, these are the vehicles that are going out. And then they share that to the other networks. All the other networks are, all right, cool, they're coming. Now they look for those vehicles. When people spot those vehicles, they'll start following them. They'll go around to like the regular places, which will be a public park, a government building or federal building in the area. They'll stage behind like supermarkets or anywhere that has like big parking lots, either in the front of the parking lot or behind the stores where they have a lot of loading areas. They look for them there, and then when they spot them in the area, they'll start alerting the local like rapid responders that are out watching at Home Depots and car washes. Now we have a network of people that have started, you know, looking out for car washes. So then when they spot them in a certain area, they'll alert people, be like, hey, they're in the area, like watch out. So then people will move into like somewhere safe, or they'll kind of get out of the area. The laborers will get moved away. And so by the time the ICE agents actually show up, there's nobody there to be taken. You know what I mean? So it's really just being on top of them, watching where they are, alerting other community members, and having this network be like, okay, they're here, they're over there. Cool. Hey, watch out, they're close to this area. Hey, they're headed in that direction. Okay, let's let this car washes know. Let's let that Home Depot know. And then they let the community members know, and then they alert everybody. And that's how they do it. You know, they don't impede, they don't get in the way. They're just eyes and voices out there, letting people know where they're at.
Well, like I would suppose, in addition to, I don't know, like tapping into some of these community responder groups, which sound like they have like a fairly impressive like network of, I don't know, counter surveillance. If there's anyone like in our audience who's listening who has like an undocumented family member, or is maybe even undocumented themselves, like, is there anything that they can do to practically avoid being picked up? And like, what preparation should someone have in place in anticipation should the worst case scenario happen?
To avoid getting picked up, I don't know, bleach your hair blonde and
start working on your accent. Yeah.
Start working on your accent. Dress white as hell. I don't know what that means, but
Dockers, tucked in chinos, golf shirts, you know, things like that.
Start putting American flag shirts on or something. I don't know. Yeah. It's real difficult because ICE has such an advantage over everybody. You know that they're using facial recognition, so they're literally like, we'll go. They spend days scouting areas. They'll go to like the Home Depots, like, and they'll send scouts undercovers and just kind of like with their phones try to like get pictures. Use their phones for facial recognition on whoever's there, day laborers. and then come back, a day or two later, and try to raid the place. The DMVs have shared like the license plate data with, if we can all get DMV data, license plate data and check vehicles, so can they. And they're constantly getting all this data. So they're looking, as they're driving around, they're looking up license plates on people. And if it's somebody that's in their database of somebody that might be undocumented, they'll pull them over, break the windows, and pull them out of the cars. So it's really difficult. I mean, you'd have to literally not have any license plates that are registered to anybody that may be undocumented. You probably have to ride around in somebody else's vehicle. Avoid areas that ICE frequents. ICE, like in LA, ICE is at the Home Depots and the car washes. That's where they're at. Besides driving around and going different places. I would say go to work. I hope your wherever you work at has a plan in place. A lot of little local businesses and restaurants have developed their own little plans of what to do if ICE shows up. It's almost kind of like Anne Frank, where like a lot of businesses are like, okay, we're gonna hide this storage room, we're gonna put a shelf here, and if ICE shows up, go here, hide here, and then we'll hide the door or something, right? Or, they're like, even like, I heard in one instance of one place bought a van, an old van, and just keep it in the back in the parking lot. So, if ICE shows up, the guys can all just run and hide in the van. Just crazy shit like that. But it's kind of a weird world that people have to have these plans in place in case ICE does show up. What we tell people is like, look, memorize at least one phone number. If you're undocumented or you fear you're going to be taken by ICE or you could be a target of ICE, have at least one phone number memorized. If you are in the system, right, you have an A number, which is the alien number. That's what everybody gets. It gets an alien number. Remember that alien number too, and make sure somebody in your family or your friends or whoever you're going to call has that alien number so that they can track you. I mean, ICE isn't doing a very good job of logging information as to where you are, but those are the very least things you can do.
So like, obviously, like I said, you've been covering this for a long time in Los Angeles, and Los Angeles has been sort of the forefront of this national siege that's going on right now. But like many other American cities are also in the crosshairs. You mentioned they just launched a big operation in Chicago. Trump has been talking about, some sort of military occupation of Portland. Obviously, here in New York, we're dealing with the same shit. What can other cities? Too. Oh yeah, what can other cities and communities in America learn from like what you've seen and documented in Los Angeles? Like, what can LA teach the rest of the country about how to deal with ICE and just like, where this is all going?
Yeah, I think the most effective thing I've seen is the rapid response groups, and I've talked with politicians, I've talked with community members. It really comes down to people. It comes down to U.S. citizens protecting their neighbors, people in the communities, looking out for themselves. It doesn't have to be a big organized operation. And even some of like the rapid response networks that we have here in Los Angeles aren't big operations. We're talking about like 2 or 3 people, 2 or 3 people. And then they'll have a group chat with like other community members. And then when people can come out when they're not working, they'll come out. It doesn't take a lot of people to start this, but you always want to do these things in numbers, and it just starts with your neighborhood, and nobody knows your neighborhood best, right? In your neighborhood, I'm sure you go down the street, you go get a cup of coffee or a sandwich, right? And the cashiers, right? Like, you know who they are, right? Like you have these little, they might not be personal relationships, but they're neighborhood people.
I mean, you see them like every other day, that's a relationship right there.
Exactly. So nobody knows your neighborhood best than you. If you don't have a rapid response network, I mean, literally you can start one on your own by just talking to your neighbors, talking to your local businesses, setting up a phone number and being like, look, let's just start up a network, a big group chat. I'm in several group chats with different rapid response neighborhood watches. Like there's at least 3 of them that I'm in, and each one of them has like 600 to 800 people. So when that chat starts going off, it's like, oh, we just saw ICE in this area. Can somebody go? Oh, my cousin just told me that they just saw ICE over there. Can somebody go verify? And then people go and verify and let the Home Depots know. Somebody else will follow them around, be like, okay, they're over here, they're over there. And that's a great way to just kind of like watch out for your own neighborhood. I would say just start at the basics. Start with your own block, start with your own little neighborhood, and that's all it really takes.
Well, I mean, like, you've talked about like some very impressive work being done by just individual people in the community who have put together very quickly these very impressive, like I said, sort of networks of counter surveillance and action. But like, how would you rate the response of just the politicians elected to represent the people of Los Angeles, from the mayor to the city council to the governor of California? Like, have they just left people more or less naked against this assault on their civil liberties?
It's tough, man. It's really tough to. It's easy to be critical of your leaders because you expect a lot more from your leaders, you know. It's also tough to know what to demand and what to expect of them, especially when a lot of people don't understand civics, right? Just basic civics as to what powers a mayor does have. Like in Los Angeles, the mayor doesn't really have
a weak mayoralty system. Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't really have like in LA. There's a police commission, so the mayor can't exactly direct the police to do something. She has to go through a commission, and the people have to go through the commission and convince the commission to get the captain of the LAPD to do so, the chief of the LAPD to do something, right? Versus like in New York, the mayor has direct control of the NYPD, right? The mayor says NYPD do this, NYPD does that, right? But in California, it's very different. It's even our system of government here is what do they call it? The people's I forgot the people, democratic people government or something like that. Where it's different. Like, so I felt like a lot of these politicians, our political leaders, feel like their hands are tied. There's only so much they can do before they start themselves doing what Trump is doing, is just ignoring their own laws, ignoring the limitations on their own power set on by their own local governments before they start crossing those lines. So it's like there's really not much they can do without crossing their own legal framework. So, and they've told me themselves, they're like, look, bro, like the only thing that we can do is this. We're limited. It really comes down to the people. And that's why you'll hear politicians in California be like, get out there and protest, get out there and do that, get out there and do this. But then they do that, and then what happens? LAPD comes and, you know, shuts the party down, harasses protesters, defends ICE, you know? So it's like, you know, how can our local leaders stop LAPD? Well, they don't have power over LAPD. LAPD has their own power. You know, they have the commission. They have to convince the convention to do something. And even then, are they going to follow it? I mean, Chief McDonald said that he was going to implement, like, you know, verifying ICE agents around the city. He was going to have his LAPD go around and ask people that are masked and unmarked cars to identify themselves as actual federal agents. This is before even the new No Vigilantes Act got passed in California. He didn't do it. He just said he was going to do it, but he never did. Not one single case, not one reported single case of them doing that. So we're stuck here between politicians that have limited power, especially against the federal government. You know, there's this thing called the Supremacy Clause, which, you know, I'm not sure if you know about that, but, you know, where the federal government literally has more power than the state. So how do they challenge that as a state or as a city?
To what extent does the LAPD or LA County Sheriff's Department, like how hand in glove do they work with ICE and other federal law enforcement agencies? Like, I mean, you mentioned, like, it doesn't seem like, it seems like there are some things proposed to maybe, I don't know, like gum up the works or slow them down, but like that doesn't seem to be happening. Do you get the impression that LAPD is more or less completely happy to acquiesce to the presence of ICE in their cities and what they're doing to just the civilians in Los Angeles, that the LAPD, at least theoretically, is there to protect and serve?
You know, I can't speak for the whole department, but I'll tell you what I've seen. I've seen LAPD fist bumping ICE agents, you know, pulling over and having chats with them, shaking hands, throwing peace signs. You know, I've seen at sheriff's office, you know, where ICE shows up to a sheriff's office and, you know, the sheriff's being like, hey, happy to have you here. Happy to see you here. They, like, law enforcement, all of themselves, they all see themselves as birds of a feather. And, you know, from what I've seen, in my opinion. So yeah, they don't want to get in the way of ICE. And when they have been called out to areas where ICE activity has been heavy and a lot of people show up to protest, whether it be in downtown LA when they took a couple U.S. citizen girls, or when they're protesting at the MDC, LAPD is happy to come and provide protection for ICE agents and to make sure that ICE agents aren't interfered with by, you know, local citizens.
I guess just like to take it back to LA Taco, and I guess like the original remit of your blog and organization, like covering food culture in LA, like how has this affected both the economy and the culture of food in Los Angeles?
It's devastated it. It's absolutely devastating. Every business out there, look, it's not just ice. You have to remember, we just went through these devastating wildfires that wiped out 2 whole neighborhoods, like not small neighborhoods, huge neighborhoods, Altadena and Pacific Palisades. That just happened earlier this year. And then before that, we're still trying to figure out Hollywood is was the main source of income for a lot of businesses. People think it's just actors and writers that were affected. No, Hollywood fed a lot of LA through catering events, through like side gigs, props, lighting and grip, people building stages, people that maintain the lots, all the side jobs. I mean, a huge.
Hamas-affiliated Twitch streamer Hassan Piker, famous for his anti-Semitic monologues, has recently electrocuted his own dog Kaya, treating his own hostage much like Hamas treats theirs.
Who is this streamer that has a zap spell? This is Hassan, and he is an electro wizard. Anytime his dog moves a zeptometer, he uses a zap spell to counter it. Do you think Hassan should let his dog move while he streams?
What did he just do to that dog? And for what? Just standing up? And that's the Democrats' new model for liberal male masculinity? A guy who treats his dog the way Hunter Biden treats his penis?
Hassan is clearly reaching for a button.
This is the one that people are talking about. It has the capacity to vibrate. What were you reaching for in the clip? What do you think? That's where all my Zintins are.
Many of you guys know that I'm a dog lover, and there are a few things that horrify me more than people that abuse their animals. These are precious creatures that need us, depend on us, and abusing that trust is such a horrible crime.
Apparently, like, sodium is really bad for their kidney, and I never heard that, and I was giving Shredder, like, cheese. He loves cheese, and I was always sprinkling cheese on his food.
I always found it bizarre how Kaya, who's this young, energetic puppy, stayed in 1 square foot of Hassan's room, right in sight of camera, almost like just a prop in his room. Well, now we know why. He's using extreme austerity measures to shock and abuse his animal and then blaming her, getting mad at her for him hurting her.
Yes, I saw the Hassan drama. It makes me want to go like this.
Oh yes, I have seen the Kaya stuff, and let me tell you, the clip did look horrible.
Look at the mannerism. Look at the stretching.
As to why America, Kaya, please just fuck.
What else would you be doing? In this body motion, he looks over to the side. He reaches for something. Tom, is there any other way to explain this body motion? At the exact time the dog yelps.
Dogtober 7, the sequel to October 7, may have just pulled a Godfather. A Shrek, if you will.
A left-wing streamer is going viral for a moment that played out during one of his recent live streams, but not for the reasons he might want. People are accusing Hassan Piker of using a shock collar on his dog Kaya in order to keep her in the shock.
Because Hassan Piker, the man that just can't seem to catch a break, made it on Israeli television for suspected animal abuse on the 2-year anniversary of October 7th. The sequel is quite literally doing better than the original.
Hassan Piker and this poor dog of his. And again,
I think Israelis hate Hassan more than they hate Hamas. Some people are saying this whole Hassan drama is heavily astroturfed, meant to heighten hysteria around a non-issue to avoid the discussion of a legitimate one. But That's where I beg to differ. I personally think this whole Hasan, Kaya, anti-Zionist, West Hollywood torture chamber drama is of the utmost importance. It even has the potential to become the greatest debate of our generation. I'm afraid it will define us for decades to come. Absolutely nothing more important is happening right now, so I just had to make this video. For the past 5 years or so, Hasan Piker has been responsible for every sinful act committed by an American who is comfortable with the word socialist being somewhat attached to their character.
In the last few months, a healthcare exec was assassinated outside his hotel. Teslas started getting firebombed, IVF clinics torched. Oh, and they even tried to burn down Governor Shapiro's house in Pennsylvania. What do they all have in common? They're all leftists.
Since Hasan and many of his friends have employed this violent rhetoric against me and my family, me and Hila rarely leave our houses or make public appearances because of the constant and overwhelming sense of danger. The last 2 years, we've spent more time inside than ever before.
And the media has covered it fairly.
Now to the ABC's flagship political program 730, which, for the record, took nearly a week to cover the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And when it finally did, this is who they decided to interview.
Kill them. Kill those and murder those in the street. Let the streets soak in the red capitalist bloods, dude.
You're talking about landlords and why they're bad. I think you were you were talking to a landlord friend at the time, right? But you said, you know, let the streets soak in their bleeping red capitalist blood, dude. Right? So I
also said in a video game, but to showcase the silliness of the statement in of itself.
Right, okay. So it's like ironic, or is it Marxist revolutionary rhetoric?
My biggest hang-up with Hasan is his forgiveness and willingness to collaborate with the Democratic Party and his Gen Z fashion choices. My culture isn't your costume, but okay. No matter our differences, I will always back up and defend Hasan when he's being attacked by bad faith actors with an ulterior anti-communist agenda. And that's what's currently taking place. You see, Hasan is often on the receiving end of the most unimportant dramas the internet has ever seen. And it's only because he's the face of the current popularization of Marxism in the United States. However, this time in particular is interesting to me because it literally took place on October 7th. And instead of a clipped out of context video of Hasan saying something about October 7 going viral, a random video of his dog yelping took that spot.
And that's the Democrats' new model for liberal male masculinity. A guy who treats his dog the way Hunter Biden treats his penis.
As for the guy who shocked his dog, I believe he has citizenship in Turkey as well as the America. So you know what? I think that he should go to Turkey because we're not going to bend to his needs. But he needs to leave his dog here.
So he's denying that he actually shocked the dog. I, for one, think he's lying. For two, don't think that is that.
You know, they say people that are cruel to animals are often serial killers.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying he's a serial killer. I'm not saying he's not a serial killer.
When your dog stands, am I right?
Non-toxic masculinity for liberals, that's your non-toxic.
Dude, it's your mom's dog and you look like you're in your mom's basement.
Yeah.
Who are you to shock anybody?
I like to put those shocks on him.
The media is just completely avoiding any and all discussion about October 7, instead opting for Dogtober 7. And I have more than a few suspicions why. But before I get too deep into the weeds of it all, this is the clip in its entirety that sparked so much discourse.
But it is emblematic of all of America's much more consequential violence, okay? It's the same reason as to why America, Kaya, please just just stop. Jesus Christ, what are you doing? You're being such a baby. It's just, you're making her stressed. She just literally is so incredibly spoiled from my mom. No, she doesn't want to come over here to see what's up. She just wants to fucking roam the house because she got to roam the house when I was gone. And she needs to literally have the same structured, regimented. I think that clip went to Trump's big baby desk immediately. I hate everything. I hate everything. I hate everything so much.
The reactions to this clip were wild, but personally, I wouldn't say I was that surprised. You see, my uncle always told me that in Turkey, they actually eat dog, so the electrocution was actually a welcome surprise. The backlash to this followed the typical chain of command. First, Destiny picked it up, then LSF, or Livestream Fails, and then the chronically online Ethan Klein started posting it on his Instagram story.
With all that evidence and more coming out, it's pretty hard to deny that Hassan has been abusing his dog for the absolutely vain project of just sitting there in frame for 9 hours straight every day.
The funniest part about Ethan Klein getting involved in all of this is that Hassan and Ethan are on the opposite sides of the responsible dog owner spectrum. But because it's Hassan drama, Ethan just had to talk about it no matter its relation to his own life.
Well, anyway, Hassan is abusing his dog.
And he's not just talking about it, he's straight milking this damn dog. Now, I didn't know dogs had udders in Turkey, maybe that's why they eat them. But Ethan literally dedicated 6 hours to the discussion of a former coworker's treatment of his dog.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's the H3 Show. Coming at you with a special episode here on Wednesday. The date is October 8th, 2025. And I come with you with a special episode about my dear friend Hassan, who is now embroiled in one of the biggest creator controversies of the year, easily. Currently in like 5th place of all time on Livestream Fails. I saw this, what happened, on our subreddit first, and I saw it had 1,600 points before even an hour. And that's for our medium-sized subreddit, very, very, very active. And so I immediately knew that this was going to be something very compelling. By the way, Tom is here with us. Love Tom.
Hello. Feels like Christmas morning, guys. I'm very excited.
Just to remind you, Ethan Klein is the same guy that trains his dogs so little that they basically shit all over the house and give his kids Giardia. And I'm not talking about the disease, I'm talking about their babysitter.
This stream is probably running on a loop. It is like bookmarked. And like the first person in here is probably fucking creepy Giardia. Is such a sad thing. Like that's terrible.
Bro, no offense, but you literally spend all day talking about me on your stream. Which is fine because obviously people don't care about you unless you're shitting on me because your whole community is snark focused. But just to accuse Giardia, Gallia, or anybody.
The thing that did surprise me about this story was the sheer amount that it was circulated. It not only made national news in the United States, but Hassan also made it onto Israeli news during an incredibly news-heavy cycle for Israel. I mean, the 2-year anniversary of October 7, ceasefire deals, a summit in Egypt, the flotilla, a lot has been happening. So it's quite obvious that this Hassan dog controversy is being astroturfed as a distraction from one thing: Israel, and specifically their genocide of the Palestinian people and everything relating to it. So here's everything that's taken place regarding Palestine that's been overshadowed by October 7. On October 3rd, the global Samud flotilla, made up of over 40 vessels and 500 participants from 44 different countries, was partially broken up by the IDF, with around 180 activists, including Greta Thunberg, being detained and imprisoned. By October 4th, Greta Thunberg was able to contact the Swedish embassy and inform them of her whereabouts, including the poor conditions they're being kept in, reporting prison cells infested with bed bugs, lack of food or water, causing some of these activists to resorting to drinking out of the toilet. On October 6th, many of the detained activists, including Greta Thunberg, were deported to both Greece and Slovakia, and they gave a press conference upon arrival.
It is a story of global, international solidarity, of people stepping up when our governments fail to do so, of people saying that my leaders, so-called leaders who are supposed to represent me, who continue to fuel a genocide, death and destruction, they do not represent me. And this is a last resort. That this mission has to exist, it's a shame. It is a shame.
On the same day, October 6, 2025, Candace Owens leaked these text messages from Charlie Kirk that were sent just days leading up to his assassination. In the texts, he admits to losing millions of dollars from clashes with TPUSA donors over Israel, leaving him no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. The next day, on October 7, the executive producer of The Charlie Kirk Show confirmed that these text messages are in fact real, and he's happy to reveal the truth about Charlie Kirk.
I want to take the start of this show to address some of the things that have been going around on public, namely about a group text chain that has been made known and released by Candace Owens. And I just want to address it head on because, that was a screen grab that I had shared with people. So it is authentic. And I want to go into it because I actually am really excited that the truth is out there.
On October 8th, a second wave of 9 vessels was again intercepted by the IDF, and 145 more activists were detained and imprisoned. On October 9th, a ceasefire deal was approved between Israel and Hamas, including a partial withdrawal of IDF troops in northern Gaza, a hostage exchange with about 20 Israeli hostages for 2,000 Palestinian hostages, and also a commitment to reopening of humanitarian corridors. On October 10th, the ceasefire officially took effect, with the UN announcing a major aid convoy bringing food, water, and medical supplies into Rafah. My timeline has been absolutely flooded with footage of Palestinian families returning to Gaza City and rebuilding their homes and celebrating. On October 11th, Hamas returned and took back control of much of Gaza City, with Hamas having to ambush several Israel-backed gangs that still inhabit certain neighborhoods of the city. Hamas claimed that these gangs were indiscriminately killing displaced Palestinians returning to their homes in Gaza City. On October 12th, despite the ceasefire agreement, Palestinian journalist Saleh Al-Jafari, may he rest in peace, was shot dead in Gaza City while covering these clashes between Israel-backed gangs and Hamas. Saleh was a beloved journalist in both Gaza and across the world. Many vigils were held across Gaza and the West Bank in his honor. On October 13th, the hostage exchange officially took place, with many of the Palestinian hostages returning with missing limbs, while at the same time a massive peace summit was taking place in Egypt, where 30 nations gathered to plan the reconstruction and future of Gaza. That was every news story regarding Palestine that October 7 was distracting you from. Free Palestine.
Mike hasn't been on this whole time. Okay. Well then. Thanks. Oh shit. Okay, hold on.
私は一人でも全然寂しくないの。仲間外れなんか気にしないもん。
ひなこ、お友達のところに遊びに行ったんじゃなかったの？
男の子と遊ぶ子はおままごとに入れてあげないだって。
じゃあお姉ちゃんと一緒におままごとしよっか。
本
お待たせ。お姉ちゃん、何かいいことでもあった？
ううん、昔を思い出してた。お姉ちゃんって小さい頃からずっとお姉ちゃんだったんだなって。
ひなこ、私ね。
これお姉ちゃんにあげる。
綺麗だわ。ありがとう。
ひなこ、親に向かってその言い草はなんだ。
お父さん、やめてください。
Doesn't that mean stop? Please stop.
あんなにも高校娘なのに、どうして妹の前は
Yeah,
何
I'm
もか
taking
も
this
正反対なん
That's not
だ。
what she said.
どこ行く？話はまだ終わってないぞ、ひなこ。
お父さん、ひなこだって分かってくれてますよ。
分かってたらどうしてあの態度になるんだ。これも全部お前がひなこをずっと甘やかしてきたからだろう。
ひなこ、お父さんはね、あなたのためを思って
友達のとこ行ってくる。
早めに帰っておいでね。
あってたまるか、そんなこと。
Okay, now. There have been sightings of foxes coming into town recently. I'm sure that the Asians who have grown up learning to respect foxes are fine, but I'm concerned for any children who may try to chase or provoke the creature. Oh. Foxes by nature are not aggressive, but just like wild dogs, they carry diseases such as rabies, tetanus, and echinococcus. Coccosis? That's a hard one. Echinococcus. Name just a few. Yeah, there's more of obviously. Just put the etc. on the end of that. Town committee should send out a warning to ensure people don't get unnecessarily close. Let's go. Is it Aquino? Like, is it like Echidna or something? I didn't know where to go with that one. I'm gonna stop thinking about that now. Is this like a save point or something? Yeah, okay. Is there a limited number of saves? It's not like Resident Evil style, is it? I don't remember. I don't think the original Silent Hill had limited, did it? I guess it must have, right? I did play it. I remember it being very gray. like this. And then The Room. I've also beaten 2, but I can't remember if I did the Resident Evil style saves. I never played 3. That's a big thing. I kind of wish I had. Drinking at this time of day? Yes. Obviously. Sorry, I'm very thorough. Not that thorough. Okay, we're good. Let's move. Stop. 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 No. Stop. Okay. That's not where I came from, is it? Am I like that disoriented? Oh, okay, it's the shrine. Abisugaoka is mostly mostly composed of Inari-sama's belief. Statues of Inari, elderly neighbors, also refer to Oinari-sama, goddess that puts old, unusable tools known for their offering of Abuda aged tofu. Abuda age tofu. Pierced through with an old needle. Seems like other towns. I'm guessing there might be something special only we do for Inari-sama here in Ebisu. Okay, cool. I feel like it's racist for me to say that this is reminding me of Fatal Frame. Hold on, I'm not for myself. Okay. Other shows, but they're you know? I keep coming down. Okay, yeah, I guess. You said Hitoki. I don't know if I know that. It's like I know Hito is person, so it's like Hitoki, like a lot of people, and then she said one guy, so there's like no people. Am I feel like I just never heard that term before. Starting around May, Ebisugaoka began seeing a number of small earthquakes. Natural Disaster Prevention Division predicts that there will be even more in the future. Residents remain on edge, fearful that these may be early warning signs of a larger earthquake yet to come. Rumors that these events are caused by Inari-sama's curse have been spreading among the more religiously minded of the elderly population. However, the Prefectural Disaster Prevention Division is urging residents to treat such rumors as superstition and instead prepare for any disasters ahead. Okay. Fucking reading people's mail. Shame. For shame. Shit. Unplug my headphones. Hold on, sorry. Okay, I'm not getting through there.
せん。運転手さんいませんか？
Oh man, what's about to happen? I don't want to run right now.
他の道を探そう。
I don't want to digitally run right now.
この先に抜け道があったはず。
絶対に呪いよ。あんなひどい死に方あるわけないもの。私なら絶対に嫌。そんな家。噂をすればなんとやらだよ。
裏切り者。
サクコ。
どこ行くの？こっち通るの珍しいね。
車が道を塞いでてさ。
千鶴や？
今は誰かと喋りたくて。
私も後から行くね。
うん。じゃあね。
裏切り者。
One of my friends. She always got her head up in the clouds and is it a little strange? Okay. She's constantly trying to worm her way out of paying me back for the 500 yen I lent her that one time. Well, that's a little, I mean, this seems a little extreme. Like, you should just let that go, maybe. You know? It's not like, that's like $5. Am I wrong? Seems a little extreme. Maybe just like let go of it. Is this, should I be paying attention to that? Like I'm a bad person. It's not like she's a bad person basically. She never paid me back 500 yen. Their father is the head priest of Senden Sugi's shrine in town. He seems to take great pride in donning the traditional Miko robes and selling charms during the New Year celebrations. Well, good for her. Maybe stop, like, forget about the fucking 500 yen. Oh. Did I murder her too? thought that was something. And it was light. Fucking light. Remember the old nothing times? The good old nothing. You remember that? The nothing? Remember when there was just nothing? The good old nothing times. Oh yeah. Everything was great. There's no crime. Make of that what you will. Back in the old nothing times. Okay. Just build. You can do it. Do some. Well, you can go over that. Come on. Give me a break.
Shuda.
Shu's been my best friend since forever. He's my partner. Been having playdates for as I can remember. Space Wars. Other partner and stuff. Kids of the Showa era tend to look down on sex, but never Shu. I rebelled against my parents because they told me to act like I was the one who understood feelings the most. Stood by me. Oh, good for him. I feel like there's something more sinister, though. That is a weird guess.
Yo, Aibo.
Shu.
あのさ。
うん。なんか言ってよ。
お前こそなんか言うことはないのかよ。
相棒にないんだったら私にだってない。
お前らしいや。受け身な生き方なんてお前らしくないぜ。お前が自分で選んだ道なら俺はいつまでも応援するからな。
シ
シュウ君、お待たせ。
ひなこもいたんだ。リンコ。何の話をしてたの？いや、大した話は。
誰かとおしゃべりしたい気持ちだったんだって。
気が紛れたよ。
それはよかった。お役に立てて光栄の極み。会えると分かってたら借りてた雑誌持ってくればよかった。あ
あ、貸したままでいいよ。インコに貸した時点で戻ってくると思ってないし。
んだとこんちくしょう。笑いすぎだよ。サクコだってひなこから何か借りてるんじゃないの？私なんかあったかな。ねえひなこ、じゃあ私が借りてる500円も返さなくていいよね。サクコ利子つけて返すとか言ってなかった？言ってないよ。証文あんなら出してみろ。いいこと聞いた。これからはサクコに貸すとき消しゴムであっても証文書かせるから。そんな意地悪言わないでよ。ひなこ。
あ、ごめん。何？
裏切りも。
Jesus. No, I'm dead. I was supposed to keep going. No, I fucked up. That was my bad. I fell into it. I'm so stupid. I thought that was a dead end. Oh. How can you? How could that happen? Wait, it doesn't take you back to the save point though. It's not that kind of game. Oh no, it's not. Okay. Oh, fuck me. Was I wrong? Was I actually wrong? Yeah, I was. I'm gonna die again. What the fuck? Thank God it just Alright, here we go. No way. Where am I going? Oh, thank God. I was at my wit's end. Hey partner, these painkillers should work best for you. They'll not only take care of your headaches, but also any pain from injuries. I suspect that the main cause behind your nasty headaches is from you unconsciously grinding your teeth when you're upset. Does that sound about right? If you ever need to talk already, just call my name, and I'll be there. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, I have to watch Sanity too.
みんな絶対無事でいてくれよ。
I should take another one. No, I'll wait. I'll wait till I take, like, sanity damage. Or whatever you would call that.
ここどこ？急いで咲子のとこに戻らないと。
Coco, Doko. It's not shoe. Let's just go ahead and get that established.
シュウリンコWe're fine. You want a beer? Okay, wait. Oh, that's fun. Is there like an attack? How do you attack? Okay. I get it. Get out of here. I didn't really get it. Oh, fuck. Obviously. Oh, am I just supposed to run away now? Okay, well, I can do that. Can you like crouch? It's gonna come get me. I'm totally fucked. It's no big deal. You can't make me take painkillers. Look, I went to rehab. I can't be doing that shit anymore. Okay, it's fine. No big deal. Okay, I guess I'll take some. Maybe I should have waited, and maybe I should have taken them before I found that. Because I didn't know it maxed out at 10. That kind of sucks. Oh well, whatever. So there's no, like, sneak command, just to be totally clear before I move on. Okay.
Wow, they have souls like combat now in Silent Hill. Okay, that's. Is that how they had it in the first? I don't remember that. Well, no, you had a gun in the first one. I'm thinking about the room. I don't remember how they did combat in that. Check. Walk on a square, okay. Okay, well, fine. As long as I know that, that's good to know. Fuck, how do I get out of here, though? Guess I should go along here then. Not the enemy. Thought I heard something stepping. Stepping in a threatening way. Oh, okay. Good. Living a little dangerously over here. Nothing. This isn't where I came from, is it? No, yeah, I came from there. I go in there, I'm gonna see what's in there. There are cases where patients see an improvement in their symptoms, not by taking medicine, but rather by simply talking to a doctor. The cause of this phenomenon lies undeniably in the trust fostered between practitioner and patient. Inclusively, the pharmacists, who have been trusted since ancient times, perhaps could be said to contain a similar power to that of the local gods here. Even among the younger generations of this town, there are many who believe praying to Oinari-san will soothe pain, speed up the healing process. One's fortitude of faith is thought to have a potency. There are even some town elders who have broken bones miraculously mended after praying to Oinari-san. Well, good for them. Enemy, 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 enemy. I'm fucked, I'm fucked, I'm fucked. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm fucked, 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 I'm fucked. Run, run, get out of here. Leave me alone. No. It's only that one, right? Kite, 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 kite. Ah! Oh my god. Don't do that to me, 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 don't do that to me. Why did I do that? Okay. I think there's no save point or anything. I don't think it matters that much. Yeah, no shit. I just did that. Okay, wait, let's go upstairs. Okay. Thanks for that. I just did that. Okay. Oh, fucking hell. What? I can't go out there? I thought it let me out. I don't know what to do now. Okay, I guess that works. Oh, I thought I was gonna jump across. They're not. I don't know how to tell you this. Get on over here. Come on. I don't know where to go. Come on. Climb up somehow. There you go. Ah! No, what? No. Ah! Come here. Do I vault the fence? Nope. Back the other way then. On the wrong one. There. specifically made to be used in religious ceremonies. A type of offering. Okay, yields a great deal of faith when enshrined. Thank you. Wait, what? Kind of a weird moment for this. Alright, thank you. Should I do it? I don't need to do that. I don't know what faith does, but that's fine. You don't lose faith like souls or anything, right? Like, okay, whatever, who cares?
Rinko?
Okay. Oh, fucking finally. Yeah, fucking defend yourself. Even like Little Nightmare, or Little Nightmare, yeah, wait, it's not. Yeah. Even that protagonist figures out to like smack people. Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, okay. Okay. That's a weird, that one's weird. Ow! Damn! Oh, here we go. Oh wait, the pills restore sanity too, though. Maybe I should hold off on them and use the bandages like when I get a lot of health damage. I don't know. I don't think the bandages restores any sanity. All right, whatever. Oh. Interesting. Okay, what's the hit? Was it the highlight? took a stamina hit there. I was gonna just run by, but they enticed me. That's a cool mechanic, I guess. Okay, yeah, I figured there must be something like this. So you don't just like stand around and beat the shit out of every enemy. How can I see the durability? Hold on. Okay. Okay, yeah.
Shu? どこにいる?
I'm just, you know, it's probably not Shu again. Just, I don't know, just warning you. Oh, cool. Okay. Okay, that's like they're like antipsychotic. Okay, okay. I should probably get some of that shit. Jelly-like dessert filled with red bean paste. Okay, thank you. Should I run through it there again? There was no enemy that like popped out or anything. I don't know if it matters. But just a little more thorough. They'll start showing up. I don't know how the game works. Okay, that's a little ominous. I hear something bad. It's just water, you know. I thought I heard something. Okay, yeah, that's enough. Let's go. Of course. Okay, is that what it's for? Should I do it? I don't know. I don't know how it works. I mean, why not? Who cares? Okay, cool. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so you can just give up stuff that you find. Okay, interesting. But you can't use it. I'll hold off for now then. Oh, we can come up here. Okay. Alright. Alright. Wait, what? Okay, I thought I lost, and I thought that I lost because I checked the map too many times. I was like, oh no. They caught on. They caught on to me. Ice cream. Manifest a shotgun.
私やっぱり咲くことの約束守りたいよ。
Am I supposed to fight? I have to fight. I'm gonna fight. Okay, yeah. It's telling me pretty straight out. Okay, I didn't know about that. I need bandages. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. Fuck me. Stop freaking out. No, I'm dead. Okay, I'm gonna die just for doing this, aren't I? That just, why did I play that sound when I went in there? I feel like that's like, okay, whatever. Who cares? What's up, guys? No drums in the deep situation going on here. Okay. Thank you. I don't have my crowbar anymore. Or, it wasn't a crowbar. What am I talking about? My pipe.
Thy restless heart betrays thee as unfit for this auspicious day. Thou must first pay respect to the gods and the spirits of thine ancestors. Restless heart leads up soul, only through sufficient offering upon the stands. Laid upon may thy soul be clean.
Okay. Well, I'm fine with being damned. Oh, okay. Those are really, hold on, let me check it again. Can you read it again? There's a way it has to be placed, right? Oh, wait, hold on. Examine them. Okay, yeah. I mean, I see leaves. Pattern though. Other than that, I guess I'll put it on that one. Okay. Oh, okay. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Oh no, drums in the deep. Oh my god, it's literally drums in the deep. Musketeer!
Ohayo. 悪い夢にうなされていたかな。
悪い夢。
怪我はないか。怪我をするようなことは私がする。君は体を大事にしなさい。
Face!
ありがとう。
それでは行こうか。
Could I have gotten through that without using the Ramune? I'm worried about that now. Well, who cares? Whatever. Moving on. Get over it.
どうした？こっちだ。
誰なの？
It worked. I know where I'm supposed to be going. I'm just checking everything. You have to let the developers know that you're not afraid of them. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I'm okay. Getting a little ominous. Okay. Yeah, getting kind of a really ominous. Very ominous now. Uncomfortably ominous.
Okay.
off? Should I? Oh, I can't. It won't let me.
Ah.
あの人についていこう。
Fuck you. Okay, fine. Okay. So, well, you have to find another symbol or something, and then turn up all the ones show a symbol that I'm gonna see somewhere else. Is that what I'm looking at here? I guess I'll move on and see what the fuck's going on with the what this puzzle is. There's only that one of her. Is that right? Wait a second, so will that be important? Like, I need to remember the number of each one. Probably too. We'll see. Or is that not important at all? What the fuck? Yeah, I was jumping to so many conclusions. Alright, let's find out what's going on here. Oh, there's another one of her. Okay. Yeah, there's no fucking way they want me to remember all of them. That would just be insane. Like the number of them, I mean. But they must have significance. Oh, cool. Terrifying places, nightmarish swamps, rotting trees that look like bones, the echoes of screams. Okay, this must help. Yeah, I mean, you're right. A little bit. Kinda, not. I mean, yeah. Love it. I leave you here. Alright, oh, yeah, okay, that's nice. Wait. Significant at all? Damn. Okay, I refuse to believe that all the shit on the back of those things was just like irrelevant. Okay, cool. Is it like a weapon I can use? Yeah, okay.
向側から鍵がかかってるみたい。あの人についていこう。
Wait, was it? It was that way? It turned me that way, but I'm gonna try to go this way anyway. Right? I thought it was this way.
This is what temple?
I thought there was something else. Yeah, whatever, moving on. Mysterious man who flat fox mask. He never takes it off, so I feel like himself. Such a refined off family. For whatever reason, he seems to know me well and treats me. He's almost like a prince from a fairy. In fact, this whole he has a weird ass face though. This whole situation is like a story from a book. Who are you? About his weird fox flesh face thing. What? Okay. Fine. You do you. I don't really see any special reason to hurry. I haven't quite yet. Wait for me.
Oh,
fuck off. Okay. I guess. I'll hold off on doing any of that. Oh. Oh, there's like more. Okay. Obviously, I just am gonna keep doing this. 400 now. Okay. I'm okay. Okay, I'm a little not okay. No! Okay, I'm gonna hold out some hope that the game is just gonna give me a little out here in a second.
じゃあお前が
Sure, yeah, fine. Wait, that one, right? Yeah. As I pass into the world of the dead, I pray only that I do not pass through the gates of hell. Okay. Oh, hello. Ooh, okay, I might need this then. Might be what they want me to take that, don't they? Well, no. Oh, it's that thing again. That's fine. From the beginning. Lightning cast down from the heavens, split asunder the decayed tree. From the earth grows Kudzu, prophet of eternal prosperity. Oh, good for them. Yeah, that sounds like a good old time, actually. I'm on board. Take me, Kudzu. Okay, wait, no, you don't sound like what they were talking about. Never mind. Now you're disturbed? Am I running away? What am I doing? Am I fighting or not? Okay, no, I have to fight. moving on. Not like loot or anything. Okay, bye. The correct Emma? What? Oh. What's over at the shrine? I don't think it's gonna come back, right? Oh, okay. Well, that's probably fine. Unless it also... Oh, fuck, I didn't think that was gonna happen. Okay, well, you live and learn. What am I looking for? Box thingy. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking for. Literally. Also, I need to go to bed. But I'm going. Oh, fuck you! Okay. Should I try to go there first? I might try. I'm gonna run over there. I'm gonna see. Let's see if there's any hints or anything over there. Just to make sure. I'm not gonna waste my time out here. Okay, God, is it gonna do this too? Just like every time. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, Returnal, I wonder what's going on with it. Oh, okay. So wait, where's the combination? Because I know the symbols are on the back of the thing. Where's like the, fuck, okay. Lightning cast down to heaven. Lit asunder the decayed tree. Okay. don't think I need this one. Yeah, that's. Huh. Fuck, and that thing's gonna be chasing me around. Okay, wait, so I already saved here, so... I remember when I played Silent Hill 2 the first time, I just, like, saved and then, like, would just run around and get the shit kicked out of me and waste all my ammo. And then when I found the right path, would just, like, reload. In the earlier save where I had everything and just run to the right path. Maybe I'll try that this time, too. Okay. Can I pick up the little token things that are in the funnel, or do I just check the thing? Because I need, like, this third one, don't I? How do I find that?
なんかこれに似た絵を見かけたような。
Doll. Oh, what did it have? What did it say? I forgot. Oh, it's the thing I just read, right? That's what it said. There. You need to put something in its mouth. The doll? I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. I know that. In there first. So I have to find, like, the third little scroll thing. Is it be in that tunnel area? You try for this. Oh shit, hold on. Okay, how do I look at my... There we go. How do I look at my, like, There we go. Okay, there we go. Fine. Shit, Jesus. So, I'm fucked. Tad, I don't think I'll make it home. I could see you one last time. Alright, that's sad. Fuck, it's back. have no idea what I'm looking for. Yeah. That's a different one, right? I haven't seen that one. Oh, there's two of those.
間違えたか
Wait, hold on a second. I have no clue what the rules are here. Yeah, I get that. I don't have anything marked down for what it actually is, though. Put us under the decayed tree. Yeah, okay, I got that. Is that even the right part of it? It's not even related to the puzzle. Maybe I'm just like completely off. Yeah.
生き返った泉が
I'm never gonna get through here. Come here, Reed. Okay, fuck, man. Let's get a good look at everything. How do I take it, like, right now? Yeah. Oh, okay. But what's the third one? Fuck, man. How do I get the third one? And then does it even matter what the... Okay, fuck. It has to be somewhere. I don't know if that even matters. Must be related to it then. I'm fine with losing everything I've done if I don't find it soon. Fuck it. Oh, I go around. Because I've wasted so many resources already. Oh, fuck. You know what? I'm going to bed. Thanks for tuning in if you did. Bye.